Okay, boom. Section 10, episode 558, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your 40 and 42 fourth place Boston Red Sox. Yeah.
Suck one.
Brewed by Blue Moon.
Yes, suck one.
Yep. You gotta suck one.
Yes.
Let me suck on that thing.
Jeez, T. No, not that kind of sode, brother. Not that kind of sode.
I just wanted to fit in.
Yeah. Produced by Jake Yazzie, though.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This is tough, man. Like I am I feel like I'm not as beaten down as maybe people would expect me to be at this point. It's because I'm used to it. Like this is year 4 of this shit. And I guess it just kind of came sooner, than in other years. Like they went into the break 10 games up last year and there was some optimism. Like I guess like our peak was when they won 7 out of 8 and swept the Yankees, but like the Red Sox just were like, well, we can't have this positivity.
Then what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just it's not even an emotional roller coaster. I feel like I've just been I don't know. I'm numb to this shit now. I really am. Like the amount of people that like this was the breaking point for, I think a lot of different people had breaking points throughout the course of the season or throughout the course of the decade. And I feel like today was probably a lot of people's breaking points. I don't know. Is anyone else sitting here saying they can still make the playoffs? Is anyone else feeling that way today or no?
Sure, but
Coley?
I think they got to make some moves sooner than later.
What are the moves?
Subtraction.
That's all you got to do. Just subtract a little bit.
Again?
What do you mean again? Like they already started with the subtracting. So I think they still know another shoe is going to drop. I think that's looming above them. I don't think that's helping.
Is that
I don't know.
really?
There's a lot of times. I got to say,
they're playing bad.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that comes up, and I don't want to give them that excuse. I don't want to give them that out. I think they're just collectively not playing great ball. And
welcome back, Steve.
Thank you.
Did I miss Steve or did I miss Steve? Did I miss Steve? I missed Steve. I mean, I was getting fucking double teamed by Debbie Downer and fucking Willy Wonka.
You joined us.
No, I didn't join you. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No one asked me what I thought. No one asked me if I thought that they weren't going to make the playoffs. No one asked me that. You guys were ready to trade everyone last Steve.
Jared, do you think they're going to make the playoffs?
Yup. Oh. I think they are.
Did you play the part real quick?
Yeah,
No, that was the piano from Stop and Shop.
You know what? I think they are going to make the playoffs. I think so. You know, get off or go fuck yourself. You know, I feel like that's where I'm at right now.
I bet that's what Cora's saying on the plane right now. Jump off this thing or go fuck yourself. Pick one of them.
Yeah, I'm there right now. I've never had more faith in this team. Coley?
I don't view that as an excuse for the players. I view it as a scathing criticism of the GM, who Rafael Devers told to do his job, and he still hasn't done it.
I'm sorry?
He hasn't cleared the logjam in the outfield. He keeps kicking that can down the road.
Yeah.
He hasn't done his job.
And if you're so convicted on buying, like Craig Breslow spoke, and that this was such a serious year, wouldn't you have made this move or had something along the lines that you knew you weren't going to go through this kind of stretch without Rafael Devers, where your number 2 hitter, that guy in your lineup right now is tied for the worst in all of baseball since Rafael Devers got traded?
Or Yoshida wasn't ready yet?
Something along those lines, some kind of plan, some kind of way for this team to survive over this stretch. And there's been nothing there. Hell, even your manager is out here saying the more realistic thing, being like, we need to prove it to the front office that we're even worth investing in right now.
Bob Nightingale had the tweet. You think the Boston Red Sox are missing Rafael Devers' bat? The Red Sox DH production since the Devers trade: batting average 182, on base percentage 270, slugging percentage 273, OPS 543. 1 home run. That's their only extra base hit. RBI 3, runs 3, walks 3, strikeouts 12. Record 3-6. 3-6. So what was I don't want to misquote the guy. What was Breslow's quote? He said they were going to win out after the Devers trade.
Yeah, he said that they're not going to lose the rest of the way. Tyler, that's what it was, right? You got it, T.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
I think when you consider the flexibility, the ability to give some of the young players some run, the opportunity to maybe repackage some of the resources and fill some voids in the roster as early as approaching this year's deadline, and being really intentional about the environment that we create for these young players to thrive in, then I do think that there is a real chance
We're going all the fucking way.
Yeah, none of this is the quote that I asked for. None of it.
Craig,
Yes, it's
I got
coming
it right
up.
here.
No, it's coming up.
Right
Like, we're going all
this
the
is it.
fucking way.
T,
No, yes,
T, can you give me
got
the
it.
entire transcript of the press conference? Fuck off.
No, T,
I'm
you got
finishing
it.
this.
Go,
I
go.
got it right here. He said any game we don't win by 10, you can count as a loss. That's how confident I am in this group.
Yeah. Go ahead, T.
We're going to win every
brother.
shit fuck game we have on our schedule. T.
Yeah.
Then I do think that there is a real chance that at the end of the season, when we're looking back, we'll have won more games than we otherwise would have.
This is the thing, and Jerry, you were early on this, and I give you credit for it, that Breslow he can't talk normal. Nothing is normal. None of the phrases are normal. Everything he says, his entire delivery is just weird. What was that last line again, T? What was the last line?
Here we go. We'll have won more games than we otherwise would have.
Well, it's his whole lead up to that. It's just like, all right, just say we think we're better off after this move than we were before. Like, that's a very normal human way to say it. But he had all this lead up, and it's like, just talk like a normal person for one time. That was one of the big lines, though, that came out of it. And I'm not quite sure how he landed on that. I still don't know how he landed on that.
But once again, we all knew you weren't better without Rafael Devers. The idea that you would be better without a guy who was a top 5 hitter in the sport from April 1st to that point is illogical. It makes zero sense. You didn't add anything to the big league roster that day of the trade. We're waiting for Jordan Hicks. Kyle Harrison is a post July 4th option for you. So, like, how could you possibly be better after removing that player? There's no way in hell. And we've seen just that since then.
It also blames him for why they were bad, which doesn't make any sense. He was your DH. Like, your defense is still bad. Like, he wasn't hurting your defense this year. No matter how badly they wanted him to, he didn't hurt your defense this year. The pitching, like, you burned through the bullpens so much in May that they're bad now, despite being really good last month. The rotation, weirdly pretty good, like right now, outside of one guy in particular. He doesn't, like, none of those were his problems. So if I'm to believe he was such a fucking malcontent in the locker room, why aren't they playing better? Why can't they hit at all? Why are they so fucking bad and miserable if the bad man's gone?
Yeah, I
That's
was
a
looking
great
at the
question,
stats.
Coley.
Quick Stevie stats for you, Jerry. Since Rafael
Hit me
Devers
with that
got
batting
traded,
average, brother.
You got it. Hey, this is batting average. This is batting average.
No,
Since Raffy got traded, the only Red Sox player hitting over 250 is Nate Eaton. So there is that.
Hit the horn, Jerry.
Nate
Tag at third base.
Eating that box. Oh, yeah. Putting his life on the line defensively, too. I don't know if you saw that defensive play he made. This guy,
sexy.
This guy is one of the best to ever do it. Don't worry about trading Raffy, because we got Nate eating pussy. He's out there making all the plays.
I'd love to stick with Box there.
Why?
NEP. That's his new nickname. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the deal, Steve? Actually, you know what? Perfect segue. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. I hit my pick'em today because had, I think I went Nick Kurtz. I went Evan Carter and Brandon Nimmo. Bang, bang, bang. Yep. Money in the bank. Cha-ching. Sup with it. So if you took my picks, congratulations to us, the real winners. The real winners. Also, congratulations to the Angels, the real winners. Yeah, 3 straight victories over the Boston Red Sox. A clean sweep. 1-5 against the Angels this year, yeah?
Yeah, it really should be 0-6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
you're
the
right.
mark of a serious ball club to do that poorly against the Angels. Like, that is not, Jared.
I said this on Baseball is Dead this morning, and I know I sound like a sore loser, but and yes, I'm only saying this because it happened against the Red Sox. I wouldn't have cared if it happened to the Red Sox, but very stupid that it's a home run if you hit it halfway up the wall. Like, that's
I hate that.
Yeah,
They should
like
have changed the whole setup there. Make a net or something. It doesn't look like a home run.
Yeah,
or
make
act
the
like a
wall
home run.
small. When we play wiffle ball in the Shaw's parking lot, it's like I had to, because I could obviously hit the ball onto the roof like a man. all these other like dickheads that I played with. They're like, it's too far. So like, it's like, all right, if you hit it halfway up the wall, if you hit it above the light on the wall, then I guess we can make it a home run so you guys can feel what it feels like to be me someday. But having a fucking home run in the big leagues be halfway up a wall, what are we doing? I mean, I get it. Like the Angels suck, but I mean, move the fucking wall in or something. It's stupid. It's very stupid to be sitting there knowing that it's a home run. But like, my brain doesn't want to accept it because how stupid the ground rules are. No.
I mean, we all didn't accept it. At the same time, we're like, well, that's off the wall, right? There's no way that's a home run. Dude, that counts as a walk-off homer.
Christian Moore slide into third base, hit the celly and everything. He was like, like looking at the dugout. They're like,
very funny.
You need to score. Like, go home. It's a home run.
I'm bent down in his face and went like this. He could have just easily told him, but he was like, hey, fucko, go touch home.
I don't think I've ever seen an ump do that, by the way. It's like, dickhead. He did the twirly doos right in his eyeballs. That was hilarious.
One more bag, friend.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It didn't sit well with me. I didn't feel, especially because, losing sucks. Losing on a live stream
100% facts.
Sucks more. Losing on a live stream while the ball was only halfway up the wall. That's triple suck, Steve.
Oh, let me make it quadruple suck. The number 9 hitter hitting 2 homers off of you late in the game to win it, which once again, you can't get out number 9 hitters this year. That's been a problem for them all year.
Wow. It's not a regular number 9 hitter.
He's played 12 games in the big leagues, please.
That's exactly why it's not a regular. He was a top 10 pick last year.
Still, it's not like he's come up and torn the cover off the ball, and yet you have him abuse you late.
I disagree. I've seen him do quite well.
With 3 homers, he has a 98 OPS plus. He hasn't even been league average with the homers.
Hasn't even been league average, Coley. If you really want to get into the nitty gritty.
He was dominant this weekend, Steve.
Yeah. Steve,
who isn't against the Red Sox?
There's something we're probably not factoring in here. I know the Red Sox went 1-5 against the Angels, but the Angels won the 2002 World Series. No, the 2002 World Series, Jared. Are we not giving that enough time here? I feel like that factors in.
And who did they beat, Steve?
That's another good point. That's another good point, Coley. Yeah. They beat the guy that hit the farthest home run that Tim Salmon's ever seen hit.
There might be a ripple effect here where it's like the Giants lost the 2002 World Series. They're like, we got to load up, and that's what led to the Rafael Devers trade.
That's probably how it went. Yeah, just wanted to point that out.
Oh God, Steve, have you been hearing these dildos that I do the show with now, where they're just like, we should trade everyone and give up on this? Have you heard any of this?
No, you got to build around this team.
I got to say, miss being on the show. A lot of people kind of filled me in on how the last 2 episodes went.
Bye.
They all basically said that you were getting teamed up on. Is that what happened in the last couple? Or that Coley and T wanted the whole team gone?
You wouldn't believe the stuff that I've had to put up with in the last couple episodes here. Just fighting for my life, trying to save the season over here.
No, I mean,
it worked.
Do I feel a little bit? Yeah, fucking laugh it up, Chuckles. Wow. Laugh it up. Laugh it the fuck up, Chuckles.
Hey, I gotta say something real quick, because T's like my guy. I love T. T's extremely attractive and all the above. I was looking at the OOC that Jeremy put together. T was funny last episode. Based off of those, he did some funny stuff.
But it was probably classic T. You sound like you're surprised by that.
But I think it was like genuinely funny instead of accidentally funny, which is normally T.
Wow.
That's a compliment, T, by the way. That's a compliment, T. That's a compliment, T.
Sounds like a backhanded compliment a little bit,
I thought the OOC was very funny last episode.
I do feel like when I'm intentionally funny, like I try to, I'm not funny at all. So I do appreciate someone saying that.
I agree with that.
Of course.
What did he do that made you giggle?
I couldn't. My memory's cooked. I just remember looking through him and that I chuckled. I chuckled at him for sure.
Yeah. CT, I told you he's full of shit. This guy.
You know what they say about a good joke? You forget it right after.
Yep, that's a classic phrase. There you go. T's being funny. Look at T right now. He's being funny right now, man.
Yeah. I feel bad for you, T.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
Man.
By the way, make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. So I feel like we're going to do anything and everything we can to not really talk about this series, because I think if you are a Red Sox fan and you're still hanging in and consuming Red Sox content, the last thing you really want to do or even need to do is to relive a series sweep that puts you back under 500 again. I don't see the need for it. I don't really unless because I feel like all the things that happen in this series that we could point out and be critical of, it's nothing new. We're just beating a dead horse at this point. I think the only thing that really stood out to me that was like kind of funny, like if you want to point to, I guess the fundamentals not being a strong suit of this team, was the Red Sox turning a double play today with 2 outs. Outside of that, I mean, you've got guys like overrunning bases. You've got it's a whole thing. You've got defensive miscues, bad base running, manager ejections, a ton of strikeouts. By the way, what was let me get the updated stat for you, unless someone knows it offhand. But
while you're looking, Ian Brown has dropped 2 stats since the trade of Rafael Devers. The Red Sox rank 30th in OPS and K percentage. Their runs per game average has dropped nearly 2 full runs. It's like it's been 9 games. That's crazy.
But Coley, if you look at Devers, he's not mashing since he got to San Francisco. So if you just make those numbers here, clearly it wouldn't have changed much, right? Dumbest argument I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm sorry.
Who's this character? Wait, can you run that back to me?
So sincerely, I was so nervous when
under every tweet. That's what people are sending. Rafael Devers is in a new location. We've already seen him win a game for them against you on top of it. Like, let's not act like him just simply being in the lineup doesn't help the guys around him. Having that presence out of your lineup is such a massive thing on its own, and that's before you just talk about regular production.
I hate the amount of people that are saying, well, you weren't that much different with them. No, they were. The lineup was absolutely different with the best hitter in the lineup. And were they only one game over 500 with Raffy? Yes. But that was a team that was still hanging on without Alex Bregman. I was assuming that the Red Sox were okay with this stretch because Breggy was back in like 10 days and they knew and we didn't know. Now seeing today that it's post-All-Star break, it's like that's even more reason why you look terrible for not having a plan. That's a guy that you desperately need in this lineup. And if it was a couple of weeks, I think that's okay. I think they could have gotten by. But now, I mean, after the All-Star break, that could be a month from now. We still don't know.
The Red Sox are now 13-30 when they strike out 10 or more times. 13-30.
So they shouldn't strike out, is what you're saying.
No.
They had 11 in 5 innings today.
Yeah, they're 13-30 when they strike out 10 or more times, and this is the organization that told Hall of Famer Jim Rice to shut his fucking mouth and don't you dare spread your Hall of Fame knowledge with our young hitters. We've got it from here. We've figured it out. We have cracked the code. Again, like, what is the point of having these people around if it's not to be helpful and share their knowledge that got them into Cooperstown? That to me, I'll never get over that one. There's stuff that I will harp on over and over and over again and never let it go. But like this one kind of ranks somewhere near the top, given how things have played out this year specifically. And just, I don't know. There's just something about this regime that just, I get the douche chills. And I know that I'm a douchebag too, but like I just get the douche chills thinking about this regime. Like when Dave Dombrowski took over, I was like, this guy's cool. Like this guy, he commands respect. He exudes power and leadership. Like he was like, and this is a horrible example. He was like Captain Smith of the Titanic. I know how it ended. But go look at Captain Smith. Like that guy was like, yeah, I fuck with this guy.
Yeah,
it was a hot start. By the way, Captain Smith, that was supposed to be his last
it was
expedition.
It certainly was.
But if things went well, he was done. So like,
hey, did he hit the berg on purpose? Now we're kind of unearthing something.
No,
okay,
it wasn't even
saying.
His fault. He was asleep.
It's already his last one. Let me just end this thing now.
I don't like Captain asleep.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you gotta sleep.
Literally asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, but like Captain Smith, if you look at him, big burly beard, like looks like he served in the fucking Air Force. Like this guy, like he's a leader of men. Dave Dombrowski was a leader of men and women. Shout out Raquel. But fucking Craig Breslow, I don't even want him leading my local Blockbuster. And listen, I know the Blockbusters are out of business, but like they could make a comeback. And if they
It's a
did,
larger
I
indictment.
don't want Craig
Where
Breslow
the fuck is
managing
this
that
VHS?
shit.
We're missing the fucking DVDs. What's going on here? There's
Yeah,
a bunch
dude.
of shit going on here.
Craig Breslow, he's not a leader of men and women. He's not. He fucking dials up his Windows 98 and he pulls up his fucking MS Paint and he's like, here are the numbers and this is the lineup and these are the players. I don't need it. I don't have any use for it. I'm not saying bring back Dave Dombrowski. He's got a great thing going on in Philadelphia. But there's just a difference between the Red Sox being in last place in 2012, 2014, 2015, bringing in Dave Dombrowski and then winning 3 straight division titles and a World Series title, and then bringing in Craig Breslow, who's going to come in here. And what has he done? What has he done?
Hey,
What has he done?
extension was good. That was nice.
That's John Henry's money.
No, I know.
Carlos
It is.
Narvaez, Garrett Crochet.
That's it. No, I don't give him credit for Crochet. That's the same thing.
Trading
Like,
for him?
yeah, when everyone was like, "Oh, I'm not going to give Dave Dombrowski credit for trading for Chris Sale," he gave up their 2 best prospects, and they were like top 10 in baseball. So it's like anyone could do that. I give him credit for Carlos Narvaez.
There are a lot of people that were against trading what they did for Crochet back. You go back and listen,
Whatever.
there were not a lot of
they're
people
dumb.
on that Crochet.
Those people are dumb.
train.
Those people are dumb. Alex Bregman signing, that was me and Alex Cora. Craig Breslow does not deserve credit for that.
You
Do we blame you guys
signed
for
it.
Devers too?
Huh?
Do we blame you for Devers too?
Me?
I'm blaming Cora partially.
What the fuck do I have to do? I didn't do anything with Devers.
We're just talking about Alex Bregman.
What did you say fuck me for?
Yeah, what the fuck? Those are 2 different situations. I have nothing to do with Devers.
Not really. Yeah.
Well, all right, yeah. And when you put it like that,
10%.
so here's the thing.
I'm not saying you're the primary culprit,
No.
but your fingerprints are on the weapon.
I saw the weapon before it was used. Yeah.
You were the driver. It was under your seat. You handed it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't
You're
my
doing
gun,
a
though.
year max, Jared.
You're
a
an
year max.
accessory. Yeah, no.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a long time. You're
on trial for certain.
I'm probably gonna get like probation ankle monitor type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're snitching. You're singing a song.
No. T.
So I saw this cool reel recently of this person who's on house arrest, but they're homeless.
Okay.
So they have to charge their ankle bracelet outside of this like convenience store, but they don't
Super
get
cool.
arrested. It's pretty crazy.
What is their house deemed as if they're homeless?
I think it's
Just
like the
the
building.
public?
I think like the CVS.
I'm sure it's like a couple block radius.
It's pretty cool though.
That would be a good way to
That's
get
not-
by on the house arrest thing. It's like, I got no house, so I can literally go
Yeah,
anywhere.
it could
I'll
be
keep this thing
anywhere,
on my ankle, but like, don't think I'm
Yeah.
staying in a house.
They
Right,
could have
yeah.
arrested
Wow.
him and housed him in jail, and they're like, "You're fine on the streets."
Yeah. Just wear this
Yeah.
thing, though.
I know some crackheads that be getting arrested just to have a place to live. Yeah.
Big time. That's the move.
Yeah. Yeah, they do like little petty crimes to get arrested during the wintertime so they can stay all nice and warm in prison, and then it's crack time once the summer rolls around.
Oh, CT, the
quick
second
free
they get out.
detox.
Yeah. Anyways, did you know that Blue Moon was born in a ballpark?
I didn't.
Oh, nice jersey. There you go.
Yeah, this is nice. It's
Show what's underneath.
Oh, there you go.
It's wool. It's
Tits?
wool.
You
This
take
is,
another button off, or you just going to stick like that? You're going to take another one off?
You know, yeah. You know what? We'll talk about this in a second. Blue Moon was born in a ballpark at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. It's no wonder why you crave it. Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience. Perfect year-round, and for the moments that you want a lighter option of your favorite beer, reach for Blue Moon Light. It's a refreshing wheat beer brewed with real tangerine peel for a lighter, exceptional taste at only 95 calories. And I'm wearing that Blue Moon jersey right now because me and Steven and Eamond and Jake, we're going to the Sox game on Friday night, and boy, am I excited to go see the Sox. Peralta of the Year is going to be there.
Peralta of the Year will be there, 100%.
Peralta of the Year will be there. Connor, who does BID Social, Dinger Derby Champ will be there. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. We're going to be sucking down Blue Moons like it's nobody's business. I actually heard it's supposed to rain, yeah?
Friday?
Steve.
No. We don't do teasers for the weather, but no rain on Friday.
All right.
Spoiler alert.
Well, you
I'm
were
just
saying it's going to rain. Yeah, and I'm assuming you're pointing to me. Like, who else are you pointing to there?
Well, no, I'm not saying that you made a mistake for speaking. I'm just saying I saw rain in the forecast.
Okay, no spoilers.
All right, no spoilers, but this is on you. If it rains,
No rain. No
all right.
spoilers.
Dan Peralta coming.
Peralta of the year.
I heard Peralta of the year is going to be in the building. Throwing with the first pitch.
Oh, obviously. Yeah. Don't say things that are obvious. Yeah, of course he's throwing out the first pitch. Yeah. It's David Ortiz, the number one Rafael Devers hater. What do you got?
Is it weird? By the way, inspired by the beer you already love and available year round. A wheat beer from Blue Moon with exceptional taste, only 95 calories, brightly brewed with real tangerine peel. Tastes light and refreshing. Nothing compares to the great taste of a Blue Moon Light. Blue Moon, made brighter. Get Blue Moon Light delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared for delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And suck one?
Suck one.
Yeah. We have excellent seats. Excellent seats right by the dugout for this game. So I feel like, well, Steve's not sitting with us because he's with Dan. Like they're in like the owner's box.
Yeah. Again, when you throw the first pitch, and Dan has a really good relationship with Henry, which is something we don't really talk about on here. But yeah, they're tight, and they talked about the Raffy trade for the last like 2 months until it finally happened.
Because John Henry, the first private jet he ever owned, was gifted to him by Dan Peralta.
No, that is fair. Actually, a fun fact, and this is not a joke at all. Dan's agent is very close with Tom Warner, so that is a true thing.
Well, yeah,
they're like
obviously.
best friends.
Yeah. The connection makes a ton of sense.
Of course,
so you're
but owner's box.
You're not sitting with us.
No, we're going to be having lobster, fancy stuff, and some Blue Moons, of course.
What are you going to wear?
Clothes.
Yeah, but like, what are you thinking?
I don't know.
Top and bottom.
Well, we're doing. Yeah, I'm probably going to have
bottom.
I'm gonna have the bottom. That was the funny thing, and that way I guess Coley gets credit for that.
That was a hilarious joke that Tyler told. Yeah.
That's back to the unintentionally funny thing. No, I'm gonna have top, bottom. I'll have boxers on. I'll have socks. Yeah. Probably some Jordan 1s. I think I would go with there. Here's the thing: we're doing denchies, though, right? We're doing denchies.
Yeah.
So I can't really be fanny. You know what I mean? I got to be kind of bland.
I guess. I mean. I don't care.
You're going to be wearing all your sock stuff on the field?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, fuck it.
Why not?
Who cares? We shouldn't worry about any rules. I mean, we've gone through enough having to follow this team the last 4 years. Like, I'm going to show up with the foam finger. Actually, that's your super fan thing. Can't steal that.
You can do it if you want. I'm just saying.
POTY saw that commercial for the first time and thought it was the funniest thing he's ever seen.
Did he get it? The reference, though?
100%. Yeah, he listens.
I think the people that don't listen to the fact that a Section 10 like inside joke is allowed on a network television commercial, there's got to be so many like what was the old guy's name? I know his wife's name is Margaret.
I gotta nail the one old guy you're thinking of.
Reginald.
Right.
Yeah, Reginald.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, there's Reginald has to be seeing that commercial, just not knowing what the hell is going on, but.
Super confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way of the world these days. It is what it is.
We're not really super fans. I don't really want to be a super fan of this team. I really don't.
I thought that you were on my side. I thought we had them making the playoffs.
I am on your side, 100%. I'm just saying this team's making me not want to be
a fan of a playoff team.
Fan and super fan, way different. It's hard to be super fan when they're playing like this and when they're making moves like this.
Oh, it's so easy.
Super fan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, the next game that they're playing, we're sitting about as close as you can possibly get to the field, and you're telling me that's not super fan shit?
Is it Bayo Day, too?
It is Bayo Day.
It's Bayo night. It's Bayo night.
More importantly, it's Bayo night. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like front row seats to watch Jesus turn water to wine. You talk about cinema.
Our number 2 starter, Brian Bayo.
I missed this last episode. What were the thoughts on the Poppy posts and how much he's going out of his way to be like, Raffy, what the fuck?
When I go to Stop and Shop, I can cross off everything.
What if we did the look ahead right now? We could do a clean 40.
Whoa!
Stop and Shop. Look ahead. Stop and Shop.
Fuck yeah.
Look ahead. Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead. Red Sox win, leave them dead. Red Sox win, I'm seeing red. Stop and shop, we look ahead.
Fuck yeah, fuck yeah.
What's better than having to stop and shop, getting it done for all of you?
The Stop and Shop Look Ahead, brought to you by Stop and Shop. Head on down to Stop and Shop right the fuck now, and you can get 10 cents off your tangerines when you buy at least 5 motherfucking pounds of tangerines, only at Stop and Shop, promo code Section 10. Woo! Game 1, Friday night. We'll be there, right, Steve? Me, you, Dan,
we will.
Jake,
Woo.
Mikey,
Yep. Connor. John Henry, because we'll be in the owner's box.
Yep. It's Brian Bayo versus Jose Barrios.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My 2 sons.
Lucas Giolito and Chris Bassett in game 2 on June 28th, Steve.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then
what was the date? But is that why you're
That's
saying
the
that?
date.
June 28th.
Oh God,
yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah.
Don't remind me. That was the worst day ever.
Yeah. That was when you called every
that they
Section
were
10
back.
listener a bunch of fucking losers. Remember you said
No,
that?
I didn't. No,
it was
I
something
didn't.
like that. It was something like that.
I said the Red Sox are back. That's literally all I said. But okay.
Yeah. Walker Buehler versus Eric Lauer. And
Oh my God, it was the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry, continue.
Before we get any further on the Stop and Shop look ahead here, people are trying to blame me for the first loss. It's only a curse if he goes out there and shoves. He gave up 4 earned runs. That's not.
The guy sucked. That's not a curse.
Yeah, he sucked. Like they didn't lose that game because of me, Coley. No, you're gonna do some stupid.
No,
you're gonna
no,
do
no,
something.
no, no.
You're gonna do something you regret
No,
right now.
You're about to
Is
do
that
something you
a threat?
regret. You're about to do something you regret, Coley.
Coley.
Don't regret this.
Coley, don't regret this.
Coley, you might regret this. I'm going to be so pro Jared the rest of this episode because he's been getting beat up apparently the last 2. Coley, don't regret this.
Coley, don't regret what you're about
Coley,
to do.
fuck
Coley.
him up.
Coley,
You know what?
listen to what Jared's saying. Coley, don't regret this.
Don't regret this. That's
Me
all.
and Coley ride. I got you, bro.
What he's saying has nothing to do with what I'm saying. I want that on my record.
I need this separate.
All right.
Damn it.
All right.
How that first inning went, where it looked like, oh man, we just fucked cock and ball shit up.
Yep.
And then immediately giving it right fucking back. I feel like Walker has a better start if you don't do that. Personally.
All right. So no. Because me mispronouncing a starter's name has nothing to do with what the Red Sox starter does. It only impacts that starter. When I make fun of their name, they usually go on to go 7 shut, 20 strikeouts, whatever. But
Sure.
he did not do that. And I think the baseball gods were like, he didn't make fun of his name. He did not know how to pronounce his name and he tried his best. So the loss is not on me.
I don't know if we have enough of a data set to know exactly how each of these games go, but we knew it was going to be a loss. And after that, top of the first, I thought, oh, maybe not. And then by the bottom of the first, I said, we may never win a game again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Much
Still on
like
the table.
when you traded Rafael Devers per T, when you did that, like you
I
had
didn't
like
do
10%. I don't know if there's like, remember Legends of the Hidden Temple? You
Yep.
can either
Of
get
course.
half or a full pendant.
Mhm.
I don't know if you get a full pendant of blame for cock and balls, but I
I
think
don't
you
get
can be
any.
walking around with a half pendant.
I don't get any. Tyler?
Thank you. When Cock and Balls was on the mound was when the Jaron Duran thing happened as well, and Alex Cora got ejected. So I do think there's some blame there as well that you need to take on.
Well, there's not, and I won't. Steve?
Interesting.
No, I think there's no blame at all, and I think
Thank
you
you.
handled it great.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. I've missed
Mhm.
you these last 2 episodes because
I've missed you
these
too.
guys, they keep trying to like gang up on me for no reason. I mean, I think I explained it perfectly. I just didn't know
think
how
you're
to
in the
say his
clear.
name. Yeah, I didn't
No,
make
I
fun
think
of
you
it.
did.
I didn't know how to say it. Like if you just see that name, you're like, yeah, it's Cockenweiss.
And if anything, I think you caught it because you're like, fuck. All right, well, that's a loss.
Yeah.
So that kind of like cancels out the mess up a little bit.
Right. You
in
knew
my
in
eyes.
the moment it was a loss.
I knew in
And
the
you
moment
actually
that I
nailed
didn't
that. It
say
was a
right.
loss.
Yeah.
Big loss.
Yeah,
Right.
You got it right. You
Because
got it
Walker
right.
didn't-
Buehler is
I didn't-
pathetic.
Wow.
He's pathetic. I think he's terrible. He's awful.
When you throw more balls than strikes and you throw more than 90 pitches, that's crazy. I'm sorry.
That was one of the worst.
That.
This is what blows the most with the Walker Buehler thing, is that he threw a great game on this podcast. He had a great start here. I loved his appearance. And so I'm like, all right, I'm a Walker Buehler guy now. I know he was tight with Jerry before. Now it's like, this guy's the best. He followed us on social. I'm like, that's another +1 in your category. And now he's having starts that you just literally can't have at the major league level. Of course, he's proven you can, but you don't want to see this over and over again. That first inning, especially to start the series, like, come on, man. You get 3 runs immediately, set the tone, coming off of the weekend where you probably should have won that series. You lose to Raffy and company. 5 runs, and it was in every way. He was an equal opportunity run allower in that first inning. Every single way the Angels could have scored, they scored. You want a homer? Here you go. I can actually walk a guy in. I can plunk a guy in. It was embarrassing, and it sucks because I really like Walker Buehler, but you're getting to the point now where it's like, I don't know how you can keep throwing him out there. I think he has the series finale, which is scary to think about for a probable rubber match coming up here.
Yeah, 6.29 ERA. It's the worst in all the American League right now. 3rd worst in all of baseball. Minimum 50 innings pitch. 2nd worst FIP in the American League right now. Like, there's no way to justify it other than he's been horrendous.
And what was he said after, or he alluded to he might be hurt?
So after the game, they ask him, is something like going on? Are you okay? He goes, I don't want to talk about that.
Cora says 100%.
Yeah, Cora had no clue and then doubled down in the
Healthiest guy I've ever seen.
But we know he dealt with the shoulder thing and that he thought initially the shoulder thing was serious.
Jerry?
This is not an informed opinion. I'm just offering a different perspective. Cora is saying he's 100% healthy in terms of like physically. And then they asked him, are you dealing with anything? And he said, I don't want to talk about it. Do you think he could possibly be talking about like mental or like personal life stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
That's entirely
Easily
possible.
It's also, look at the Tanner Houck situation. He talked about it recently. He was like, I never told the team that something was bothering me. I had been hurt since spring training and I never said a word. Cora said he never had a clue because they didn't talk to him. Like, is that one of the situations where he's trying to pitch through something and he knows he was just on the IL, so he's trying to produce and, you know, give value, especially in a 1-year deal? If that's the case, he needs to go on the IL because he's not giving you anything. But and the velocity's up; it's not down.
That's usually what happens when it's up. The other update
always
here,
up, never down. Yep.
Yeah. The other update.
Kelly
here,
Jansen
T,
5-1 against the Boston Red Sox this year. Not enough people talking about it.
whatever, dude.
He left the game early because he felt bad. He's like, I keep dominating these guys.
88 on that first pitch.
Yeah, he stinks. T,
It worked.
let's just say hypothetical hot tub that you do put Walker Buehler on the injured list. I mean, who's the next guy up? Like,
It's Cooper
Sandoval's
Criswell.
not ready.
Oof.
Everyone else is already here. Tanner Houck is on his 2nd rehab outing, and he has looked horrible. What are the velo numbers look like for Houck?
Average. They're not popping in a way where he's upper 90s. It's like 94, 95 while
Is he
he's down there.
cooked?
Cora said that when he was throwing bullpens that the stuff looked good, the velocity was where they wanted it, but Ian Cundall framed it like this: very hittable. That's really the only way to describe it. He's not fooling anyone. It's the same stuff you saw before he got hurt. Like, the sweeper isn't what it once was, where it was this nasty pitch that, you know, felt like, you know, a Chris Sale slider but reversed. And the sinker is extremely hittable. And he started using a cutter. He's kind of followed the Brian Bayo method. If you look at the Baseball Savant page, it doesn't do a good job breaking it down. But when you see 91 mile per hour sweepers, it's a cutter. So he's trying to do the Brian Bayo thing. It hasn't worked so far.
Brian Bayo, 3-2, 3.31 ERA, a 1.41 WHIP, and a 7 strikeouts per 9. He's been great in June, Coley.
Yeah.
4 starts, 574 OPS, 2.49 ERA, a 107 WHIP. That's my number 2 starter. In May, he had 2 pitches with a batting average against below 315. In June, 1 pitch has a batting average against over 229. Sweeper, cutter, 4-seam all have a batting average against below 180. The key has been his sinker, 229 batting average against, only 2 doubles. Red Sox are 6-6 when he starts, just 1-3 in June, despite his strong numbers. Jose Barrios, 3-3, 3.51 ERA, 1.24 WHIP, and a 7.7 strikeouts per 9. It's been very nasty in his last 5 starts, except for 1 outlier. He's got a 2.03 ERA in his last 5 starts. 6 of those earned runs of the 7 that he's allowed in his last 31 innings came in one blow-up start against the Phillies. And the other 4 starts, he has 26 and a third innings, 1 earned run, 20 strikeouts. And that 1 run came on a solo home run. Blue Jays are 9-7 when he starts, and they've won 4 of 5. Lucas Giolito in game 2, 3-1 of 4, 53 ERA, a 137 whip, and 8 strikeouts per 9. Giolito's main problems this year have to be Fenway Park related. At home, 5 starts, 7.66 ERA, 197 whip, and a 10.14 OPS against. 5 starts on the road, 2.15 ERA, 0.92 whip, and a 5.44 OPS. That's fucking crazy for home road splits. Like, he's like Cy Young on the road, and he's
not
like
Cy Young at home.
At home, yeah.
Well, he has homer issues, so being at Fenway is never going to help him that much. I think at the same time, I think it's more stuff-based than anything. I think it's just having the same stuff multiple starts in a row, which for 3, basically, at this point, it's been pretty close to that, like, 94 to 96 range.
His last start at home, though, it started his current stretch of 3 straight quality starts. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was not earned. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. That was against the Rays. His slider in June, 0.71 batting average against, 0.71 slug, 36% whiff rate. This is his first start of the season his first start of the season was against the Blue Jays, so he's going to go see them again. That one was 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned, gave up a bomb, 7 strikeouts. That was when he was left in a little bit too long. But the Red Sox are 6-6 when he starts, and they've won 4 of 5. Chris Bassett, 7-3, 3.61 ERA, 126 whip, and an 8.8 strikeouts per 9. He's having a career best walks per 9 at just 2. Doesn't have a single start with more than 2 walks and has 6+ strikeouts in 9 of 16 starts. He's been very consistent this year. He has 6 starts of 4+ earned runs and 8 starts of 1 earned run or less. Against the Red Sox this year, he went 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Fastball velo is down, so that plays well in their favor. The Blue Jays are 10-6 when he starts and 0-1 against the Red Sox. In the series finale, this is Walker Buehler. 5-5, 6.29 ERA, 157 whip, and an 8 strikeouts per 9. He's been the opposite of Lucas Giolito. He's only been good at Fenway. On the road, 7 starts, 10.42 OPS, 9.49 ERA, 2.11 whip, and a 6.5 strikeouts per 9. At home, 6 starts, 6.37 OPS, a 3.31 ERA, a 1.07 whip, and a 9.4 strikeouts per 9. I love that. He's allowed 21 earned runs in 16 1/3 innings in June. Pretty bad. The Red Sox are 7-6 when he starts and have won just 1 start of his since May 21st. Eric Lauer, 4-1, 2.21 ERA, and a 1.01 whip and a 9.1 strikeouts per 9. Longtime lefty Brewer in his first year with Toronto. Started the year in the bullpen. His stats in his last 3 starts: 14 2/3, 2.45 ERA, 3.76 FIP, 17 strikeouts in those 14 2/3 innings. Number 1 pitch comp on Savant is 2019 Kobe Allard. Interesting. He throws his 4-seam about 92 miles an hour. Guys can't hit it. $133. Pitch in relief against the Sox in April. 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 4 Ks, hit a guy. The Blue Jays are 8-3 when he pitches, 4-1 when he starts, and have won all 3 of his starts in the month of June. Again, that is Brian Bayo versus Jose Barrios. That is Lucas Giolito versus Chris Bassett, Walker Buehler versus Eric Lauer. Prediction, Steven.
Prediction time. I didn't know you were coming to me first, so give me 1 second here, Jared.
Yeah, what do you got? Prediction, Steven.
Jays have to play Thursday, and the Red Sox don't, if that means anything. The Blue Jays are in that completely average group of AL teams that the Red Sox are also in. I'd say there's about 9 of those teams that are kind of in no man's land and might end up in the wild card, might not. But realistically, their season won't really matter. They've struck out the least of any team in the majors. The Red Sox have struck out the 3rd most of any team in the majors. That's not an awesome recipe. A cool thing, though, Jared, because I'm going to keep it positive, because apparently that's what I do. And
what do you got?
T and Coley are too negative. That's what I hear, at least from the comments. Sox have a 92-70 record pace at home this season. And so they're going back home. So maybe they start playing some better ball there. Insanely scared of that Giolito start solely because he's got a 1 ERA in his last 3 starts. And everything you said about the Fenway stuff, Buehler, love the guy. It's been really tough. Him in the finale is kind of brutal. I'm going to have Red Sox winning 1 out of 3 of these games, sadly.
1 out of 3 for Steven.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what Jake thinks about this series.
Feels like a good time to bust out the reverse sweep here. Can't get swept by the Angels and lose 5 straight and not see that coming. Plus, I'll be at the field on Friday, so if anyone has a problem with it, they can say it to my fucking face.
I don't think that you'll be met with a ton of resistance, Jake. I'll be honest. Yeah, I think
just beating the shit out of people at Fenway Park. I'm ready for that.
It'll just be like on camera. Like the seats are like as close as the field you can get, and Jake's just like in the background beating the shit out of someone, like over Cora's shoulder.
Somebody hit the homer, they're getting the Wally head, and Jake's just pummeling the shit out of somebody like, told you, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I kind of hope someone steps to you, Jake. I want to see you beat the fuck out of someone on Friday.
I mean,
but we'll see.
What's going on right now is great for Cake. I know that much. Wherever that dickhead is. Yeah, right.
Yeah, fuck him. The McMahon?
I think 1 and 2 is correct, much like Steve. He brought up their pace at home. All of those games at home so far this year were played with Rafael Devers. If you recall, they traded him while he was on the plane. I think they pushed him out.
Playing cards.
Not on the team anymore.
And so this is also the first time they'll be home dealing with that. And I don't know that that's going to go over super well with the fellas. I expect Vlad hits at least 2 a very far away. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to
it. T?
Yeah, I'm joining them in the 1 for 2 or 1 and 2 club in this one. Brian Bayo, career 5.40 ERA against the Blue Jays, but his best start of his career was last year, 8 shutout innings against them. So I do have a little hope with him absolutely dominating over his last 4 starts, 2.49 ERA, 3.43 FIP. So I'll take the win on Friday. I do feel like I'm asking for a lot with Lucas Giolito having 4 good starts in a row. Chris Bassett always carves up the Red Sox. Hell, Jose Barrios, another guy who I always say is going to get lit up by the Red Sox because his FIP's in the 4s, but he overperforms it every single time. So I'm not going to do it again. So yeah, having 3 good ones from Giolito in a row, asking for 4 feels like a lot. Just expecting the stuff to carry, and then Walker Buehler in the last start, that's a loss. So 1 and 2.
Jeez. Walker Buehler at home, though. Did you not just hear the numbers, T?
8 ERA since he came off the aisle.
No one's believing in this team anymore. Someone has to.
I think that's the hardest.
Team, definitely out on Walker Buehler right now, unfortunately.
Someone has to be in on this team.
They can still make the playoffs.
And none of you are.
Last year,
no one believes in this team.
No. Last year on the state,
no one on this podcast.
I think that applies to them as well.
They played the stupid brand of baseball we talked about for all those months. I think people hoped during the 6-game win streak that you would overcome it. You did everything in this series that we've bitched about for the last 2.5 months.
But you know who believes in this team?
Jarren Duran.
Me. I believe in this team.
Super.
I think this team's going to get hot. I think they're about to go on a run. I think this team is about to win 13 out of their next 17 games.
12.
I thought you were going to say 13 out of like 34. I think this team's about to get really average.
This team is about to win 13 out of their next 39 games. And
I got them winning 13 out of 26, actually. I'll put that down. No SPG, but I feel good about it.
Wow. So that's where I'm at. I got a sweep.
That's fair.
By the Blue Jays.
For who?
Oh, there you go. But you believe.
Well, that's what's going to wake them up.
Okay, 8-game losing streak, and then boom, then they go.
boom. No one will see it coming.
That is true. Real quick, Jerry, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did the math. They got to go 45 and 35 to hit
that's
the
easy.
current win projection of the last wildcard team. You think that can happen?
Yeah, that's easy.
Okay. But that's not 500, unfortunately. See?
On this date, 1 year ago, you had a 40% chance of making the playoffs. So you're at 17% right now.
It's not zero.
Nope.
On this date this year, I believe in these guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So
there
is that too.
only
You're not
getting
factoring
better.
that in at all.
You're right.
Mm.
Alice Cora told you after the game, they're close.
They're right there.
You could clip that soundbite that you just said and say it every single pod. We're right there. If we just don't do the shitty stuff, then we're literally good. Like we
They
just have
are
to stop
right
being
there.
dumb idiots. We're right there.
You didn't have a hit after the fucking third inning today. Carlos
Get him,
Narvaez was your last hit. You would have scored 2 runs today if the Angels and the umps weren't doing you a favor in the first inning.
Mm.
You got lucky on an error by Scott Kingery, and then Wilyer Abreu should have struck out.
But he didn't.
Yeah, the whole not scoring from like the second inning on is pretty brutal. Not a big fan of that strategy.
And fuck however Luis Guerrero's pitch mix is working. It's the stupidest thing in the entire world. I'm sorry. Cannot watch him throw that sweeper anymore. It's killing me inside.
No, they're forcing it. Like
So
they're forcing him to
weird.
do it. Like there's no reason.
Like
for
no
it.
one throws it to the level he is with like how low quality the pitch is. It's not horrendous, but
Right.
it's definitely not good. And they're just like hammer it over and over. Like it's the flattest pitch you've ever seen in your life. And again and again and again and again.
He went 2-0 on Ward today, and he threw that third one. It was like he asked Ward, like, hey, don't swing at this. I just need to see one go over. Like it was the most, he's throwing it here pitch. He like stopped to like just get it over. It was the slowest one he threw. It was right down the dick. I don't know why Ward didn't swing. And then he locked in the rest of the at bat. But yeah, I said it in the chat the other day. I was just like, he's a demon when they let him like throw his fastball. Like I very much like having him as an option. Because he was good Friday. I keep thinking it's the weekend. He was good Monday.
And in that game, yes, he was throwing the slider 40% of the time, but he was also throwing the fastball 40% of the time. Today it was 27% and the slider usage was 54%.
Crazy.
Like just even it out a little bit, man. So it's not that predictable.
If you want to buy tickets to see the Red Hot Red Sox this weekend, download the Game Time app. Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer that it gets to first pitch. They have killer last-minute deals, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. We will be at the game on Friday cheering on these red-hot Boston Red Sox against the Toronto Blue Jays. Boo, boo Toronto, boo Canada, boo Vladdy Jr. for choosing to play for the Boo Jays instead of the Sox. He could have played here, but instead he chose to play for them, and boo that. Save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Save even more when you choose a section you let Game Time choose the seats for you. Know your total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10, SECTION10 for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. The fact that Pete decided to tune into the Sox right after like the Stanley Cup ended, and I talked to him today, and he's just like, "What? Like, is this how it? No, it's not how it always is. Like, this is Well, I mean, like getting swept by the Angels. It's not too far from it, but
it's a new low. It's a new low.
It's but like, didn't Detroit feel like this too? Like just getting walked off back-to-back games or whatever. Like
but
this.
At least that's the team with the most wins in baseball right now.
The Brewers one probably sucked the most because those were basically 3 one-run losses back-to-back-to-back.
You've had 2 5-game losing streaks in a month.
It's not good, T. Yeah, no one's sitting here being like this is a good time.
But they're about to get
hot
though, so
I mean,
they're about to get hot.
To be fair to the Red Sox, after the trade, they were 3-1 heading into Saturday, game 2 against the Giants. And at 9:01 in the morning, Mr. Pumpkins texted me and said, I think I'm in on this Red Sox. What did he say exactly? Let me get the defendant's exact words.
Mr.
Last
Pumpkins.
Last night may have officially sold me on the Sox. That was what he said.
Yeah.
What game?
man.
We should keep track of the post Pumpkins record then, because it's got to be pretty.
It's
terrible.
super easy to do, Steve. Let me tell you
It's fully defeated. Does he have no wins? We're not counting
none.
Friday.
That's all.
Okay.
It was Saturday morning.
Okay, he's
texted me,
Pumpkins is 0-5. All right, then this is
0
on
and
Pete.
5.
Remember,
All right,
big
Pete.
time.
Just have
Remember
him
that
stop
summer?
watching.
Remember that summer that he was like, I'm going to like whatever it was, like 50 games or something like that, and every game he went to, they lost.
All-time run.
Today
Yeah.
he texted me at 5:21 p.m. He said, "You'll never guess when I turned on the game," and it was right before the back-to-back home runs. Joe Adell may make the All-Star game just based off of the games against the Red Sox he's played this year.
Joe Adell would be a perfect Red Sox. Like, does some of the stupidest things you've ever seen, makes it look very awkward. Hits tanks, man. Never going to be the guy out there that looks like a true baseball player. It's just kind of a lot of athleticism and him going as he goes. But I could picture him being here easily. Future Red Sox Joe Adell.
If you don't really know what you're doing, this team's got some openings for you. They love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Steve, I need to get your thoughts on this because last episode, Tyler and Coley basically traded the entire team. Is there anyone that you're looking to trade?
Jarren Duran, because he fucking blows. I hate that guy. I've been so right about Jarren. He sucks. Yeah, I'd get him the hell out of here.
Are you going to see him on Friday?
Maybe, and if I do, I'll punch him in his head. You know?
Yeah.
And I think he really. This has been tough. I think he's hitting like 195 the last 28 games. I looked that up. That's bad. Like that's like below the Mendoza line, which a baseball term. I don't know if you guys heard it, but that's like 200 is the Mendoza line. And when you're below that, that's really bad. So yeah, ship his ass out of here. I would have, who else is getting out of here? See, here's the thing. And you guys know I'm not I don't like doing hypothetical trades. I'm more of a homer than not a homer. So I want them to try to go for a playoff spot, especially in the American League right now, where you see if you get hot for a week, you're in playoff position. But if you stay on this pace and don't get hot, like we're, projecting them to get out of nowhere, then yeah, I would ship out Chapman and some of these other guys that are on the 1-year deals. I think that just makes sense. But it kills me to say that because you're finally supposed to make the playoffs this year. Of course, all of your expectations change when you trade your best player. I think everything now is a different discussion than it was. Geez, that was only like 10 days ago. That feels like 2 months ago. But yeah, it's hard to have normal convos about the Sox. I got to say, like, I never liked missing Section 10s, but not talking about them for a little bit was not a bad thing. Like, I didn't hate it with what's going on because I've just been really pissed off for this stretch. So, yeah, I would definitely get close to thinking about trading certain guys, but I'm not quite there yet because they're about to get hot, brother.
I hate that it's been framed that I wanted to sell, and to another extent, and kiss the season goodbye. Like, if you want to buy, you really can't do that without selling in the first place. They don't really have the assets to go out and buy some of the names that would genuinely help. Jeff Passan and Kylie McDonald dropped their stock market style trade column where they're going to adjust it based on teams. I haven't checked it since. What's Bregman's right now? He was at the top of the list and it was at 10%. Then we got swept by the Angels. So is it 90%? Like, I don't know how drastically they're shifting it day to day, but yeah, I very much am of the mindset that if you want to buy at the deadline, you need to make those sells now so that your guys can just play and then you see what you got. I don't know why it can't be both, because you can't do both without doing one of those first.
Yeah, just knowing the Bregman timeline, you have to realize at this point, like, you need to do something for this team to make it through the next couple weeks, in my opinion, even with teams like the Nationals coming up, right? The Reds, who are another 500-ish team that, aren't terribly scary, but look what the Angels just did to you. You're going to play the Rockies, and then you got the Rays again. But to find a way to just survive and float by, it was a lot easier when you could pretend Alex Bregman was showing up in the first week of July or whatever it may be. But still, there is time to the deadline. We've seen the team get hot around this year a few different times, but they have to go out and prove it if you want to go and do that, in my opinion. Or if Craig Breslow has the conviction that he was talking about, you should already be, in the process of doing that. So when I'm talking about selling guys, until you prove otherwise to me, that's where I'm going to kind of stand on this, because you haven't told me you deserve that kind of support and that backing for this year's team. You had a great 6-game winning streak. Besides that, is there really any stretch this season where they've shown you that they deserve that kind of, push into them, that kind of support? I don't think so. They haven't shown that they're worth that type of investment.
They got their best hitter taken away from them.
And
It's not great.
And
that's the whole
celebrated
thing.
it.
After the 6-game, or in the midst of a 6-game winning streak.
Yeah, I feel like
they need a good handful of guys to get hot at like the same time. And I just don't think that's gonna happen. Looking at the lineup today, who did they have in there today? TS10, by the way. Shout out to TS10. We never gave up on TS10. He consistently is delivering.
He is genuinely leading from the front.
He is. No, 100%. And this is kind of what we had when we talked at the start of the season. We were like, if he can be this, then they're going to be great. It's like, oh, brother, did we not know what was coming up this year on the Red Sox? But yeah, you look at the lineup today. Tough one for Refsnyder, 0 for 3. Duran 0 for 4. Romy 1 for 3. Cap 1 for 4. Abreu 0 for 3. Story 1 for 4. Rafael 0 for 3. Meyer 0 for 3, even though he looks sexy doing it. And then Eaton, who's just been tearing the cover off the ball since the Raffy trade, 0 for 2. Like, you go down the list with this lineup, and there's just not enough guys that can string together hits and consistently, get things going. I mean, in theory, they can, but again, that you need a good handful of these guys to now have a hot, 3 weeks to be able to justify buying at the deadline. I'll say this, and it's probably going to be a lie. I don't think they're going to do the half and half thing again, but who the hell knows? Because if anything, that would then go perfectly in line with what their, thought process has been before. And that would also be right in line with the 500, where it's like, we're going to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and keep doing that.
Well, and it's realizing what's happening around you. Like, Greg Weissert's clearly hitting a wall at this point in time. We've seen it now for the last 10, 14 days, whatever it may be. You've already killed Brennan Bernardino. Garrett Crochet has the most innings pitched of any starter in baseball. We have not seen him work in the second half. Carlos Narvaez has workload concerns. Like, there's a lot of guys. Justin Slayton still isn't throwing. Like, it looks like there's no timetable. Cutter Crawford got shut down today for the rest of the year. Like, how are you going to kind of keep this team alive over the next couple months when it feels like you're already running thin in so many ways? Like, Marcelo Myers, another guy who never played a full season of minor league baseball. Like, what are these guys going to look like in the dog days while trying to learn at the highest level? Like, it feels like it's going to get rough. And Toro's quieted down. I'm sorry, Coley, I don't mean to disrespect you. But that's it. Like, you're in some tough spots.
Was Coley the Toro guy?
Coley loves Toro. I don't mean to disrespect him.
I was more like, this guy's producing. I don't know why we're still talking about first base while he's producing. That was mostly what I said.
Which is totally
I wasn't
fair.
Like, extend him.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. But all I'm saying, like, he's come back down to earth. So it's like trying to figure out like where you're going to get this production, where these guys are going to come through. It's not easy right now.
I think the one thing that I feel most confident about is that the Red Sox are probably going to be around where they're at now. Like, they're 2 games under. If you're looking at the AL wildcard setup, they're 2.5 games back. They're not going to fall as far down as like the Orioles right now, or like 8 games back. The Twins are 3.5. There's like 7 teams that are within 4 games right now, maybe even 8 teams. They're still going to be in that batch. And so it comes down to like, whatever your thought process is now, you should be ready that this is what the standings is probably going to look like around the deadline. So it shouldn't like catch you off guard of, oh, if they have a couple good, they have 3 or 4 wins in a row leading up to the deadline. That should not change what your mentality is. I just, per usual with this team, don't think they even know what their mentality is and what their approach is going to be. And so I don't think it's going to change from now until then, unfortunately.
You know what's funny is, like, Steve was talking about the lineup today, and like, remember when the lineup was like Johnny Damon, like, you had the batting champion hitting 9th. Like, look at these numbers from 2003. Jason Varitek, 31 doubles, 25 homers. Kevin Millar, 30 doubles, 25 homers. Todd Walker, 38 doubles, 13 homers. Nomar, 37 doubles, 28 homers. Bill Miller, 45 doubles, 19 homers, hit 326. Manny, 36 doubles, 37 home runs, 104 RBI. Johnny Damon, 32 doubles, 12 home runs, 345 on base percentage. Trot Nixon, 24 home runs, 24 doubles, 28 home runs, drove in 87, hit 306. David Ortiz, 39 doubles, 31 home runs, drove in 101 runs. Like the OPS plus of like this lineup is, I mean, it's 120, 110, 121, 140, 160, 149, 144. Like this was the whole fucking lineup. And then you look at what they trot out in 2025 and you're like, there's no way this is the same organization.
It's a good point. The lineup on today in 2003 was Damon, Walker, Nomar, Manny, Millar, Ortiz, Bill Miller, Damian Jackson snuck in there, and Jason Varitek. Like that lineup smacks. And now you have guys in there. Now you have guys in there that it's just like you're hoping for the hey, could get hot. You know, something could happen here, and we'll be excited about it. That's where we're at.
Like if you didn't have close to 30 home runs and 30 doubles, you could not sit at the Red Sox table. And
you were a scrub without 30 bombs.
Yeah, it's like, all right, so you're a bench player. Oh, you only have 25 doubles and 22 home runs. What do you? So you come off the bench then? All right.
I mean, you talk about the average stuff with me.
Enjoy
like, oh yeah,
tuck it, fuckhead, like, get out of my face.
That's really cute, Bill Miller. You got the best average in the league. Like, what's your power numbers look like, dickhead? Like, that's how they treated Bill Miller on that team. This lineup's insane.
Yeah.
Red Sox lose 5-2.
Yeah. Sometimes in life, Steve, you want to get to know the truth. You have to look at the numbers. Unfortunately, 50% of all dogs, over 10 years old will die of cancer. The other 40 to 50% suffer miserably from skin issues or joint problems, and this is widely attributed to your dog's diet. These numbers are what inspired Dr. Dennis Black to create Rough Greens. So here's the good news. With thousands of testimonials and 5-star reviews every month, Rough Greens is now the #1 all-natural dog supplement in America. They have helped millions of pups like mine, shout out Ace, stay active and be healthy, and your pup could be next. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens. Fetch a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. All you have to do is cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com and use the promo code section10. That's roughgreens, RUFF greens.com, promo code section1010. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens.
Rough.
What was the other thing that I want to talk about now that Steve's back? Oh, who do you think the mystery guest is tomorrow?
I feel pretty confident it's Grady Little. I'm excited too to ask him about that Bin Laden line in the doc. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Have you been wearing that
whole
hat
like
the whole
pulling
time,
Pedro thing? What?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, big Sox guy.
You've been wearing that the whole time?
Talking socks.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Middlebrooks. He had the best series out of anyone.
He really did. I mean, he usually stands out strong on the
big time. I thought it was very interesting when he talked about how it was easier to play infield defense there because it was like blacked out because of the seating behind home plate, so you were able to pick up the ball better. And I thought it was great that his partner, what's his name again? His partner gave him nothing but dead air to work with when he dropped that nugget.
I also liked how his partner had no response when Will Middlebrooks mentioned that he had no care for advanced analytics. Just no response, just acted like he didn't hear it and kept it moving.
Wait,
dead air is really in on this broadcast. It's a big theme to have some of that good old dead air.
What happened, T?
There was a point where Will Middlebrooks, I can't remember it was today. I can't remember what the specific moment was, but he starts talking about advanced analytics. Oh, Roman Anthony well, like he's not panicked about Roman Anthony. He's like, well, there's a lot of things underneath the hood that tell you there's nothing to worry about. And he goes, well, I know you're really not a big fan of any of those numbers or, a believer. And Dave O'Brien says nothing and then just changes the subject 5 seconds later to a new conversation. But it was like, clearly you don't care to be educated in the game to a degree that, what the modern fan is.
Was it uncomfortable? Was it an uncomfortable moment?
It was framed not in a mean way, but it was more like old timer. Like,
yeah,
this is a little too fast for you.
I was at 98.5, the motherfucking Sports Hub, so I didn't get to hear the whole broadcast today. I missed that, but
they spent an inning on the history of the Angels' name. I thought that was pretty cool. T,
where did it
I
come
think
from?
What's that? Well, just
Where
there
did
was
it
the
come
California Angels, then the Angels of Anaheim, then the Los Angeles California Angels of Anaheim, Los Angeles. Yeah, all that stuff. T, I think I got a good feeling that Middlebrooks follows you because I've noticed the trends over well, he definitely does, but I'm just saying really like sees what you put out there. Because I've seen him reference some stuff that you put out there over the years. So you deserve some credit for the rise of Will Middlebrooks in the booth.
Yeah, Will, for years now, has always been good. We've texted a bunch of times, like stats back and forth, whatever it may be. So shout out to Will. I think he's been incredible in the booth this year. And I think Lou's been great as well. We always talk about him, but it feels like Middlebrooks goes under the radar sometimes. So he deserves his shine.
His broadcaster OPS plus is definitely, it's been rising each year. Keeps going up.
He's ascending. T?
I thought the Jarren Duran and Abraham Toro play was really stupid to come out and argue and cry about that. It felt like, I know Cora was mad about what happened in September. I understand that. But like, it felt like such a loser move to sit out there and cry about a knee being dropped down when Abraham Toro was out by 10 feet. I'm sorry. Like, we're trying to get by on technicalities at this point in time. Like, teach your team to run the fucking base as well. And that's not me saying Cora is the one out there running drills with them or whatever. But worry about the team doing right shit instead of trying to get a technicality. I could give a fuck less about that. How about your team?
He was a big fucking loser.
No, it was such a loser move. Like what are we doing here, man? Like, he was out by fucking 5 feet. Like,
see, I don't fully disagree with you. I'll probably not go as aggressive. I thought it was a little bit unnecessary to be flipping out that much about it. I honestly, like the booth, didn't fully know what he was pissed about. I was like, what's going on here? And then you saw the knee down thing. Toro's, to your point, 10 feet away. It's not even close. We can't be. I would want AC to save his like big flip out bullets for things because he knows the game very well. He knows the game probably better than most managers. I'd want him to save it on the thing that he knows he's right, that he knows the ump fucked up. Like, the ump didn't really fuck this up. Like, it was just, he's...
By rule, I saw the video that Lou posted. Like, I get it. By rule. He's out by fucking 6-7 feet. Let's be for real, man.
It's not even close.
To me, it was like, I want to scream at Duran. Obviously, I can't do that. So I'm going to take it out on the ump here. Because last year, I thought that was the craziest Cora ejection we ever saw. When he went down to second base and he fucking drew the line at the bag. But it's the same ump. That's what it was. It was Porter. So, like,
I think he just hates that guy. Yeah, I think it's just the personal beef with that guy.
If someone fucked me on the same call, but it went the other way, I would expect them to call it the same way always. So if you fuck it up again next time and there's no consistency, I do understand that part of it. But I am objectively all for umps being more common sense than exactly letter of the law. And I mean, Toro was like closer to first base than second base when he dropped his knee. Like, that was not.
He wasn't even in the frame. He wasn't in the shot when the ball went over there. I'm like, is he going a second?
You could tell he and that ump really hated, like most umps when they toss someone, they're like, just leave. That was one of the big all-time point offs I've seen between ump and manager. Like, they were really, like, the ump was really into it. So yeah, there's a blood feud there, which I respect.
Yeah, AC was getting into it. You could tell he was using his whole catalog of swears and whatever words he had. He was unleashing the whole thing, which I do respect. But Jarren, I don't know what he's doing there. I think in his brain, it was like, I'm going to try to distract the fielder, and then I'm the fastest kid alive, so I'm also going to beat this out. It's like, you can't have both of them. Like, if you're going to distract the fielder, you got to go back to second because he's literally right next to you and can just throw you out if you go to third base. And then Toro, per everybody on this team, is like, oh, we did a dum-dum. Let's do 2 dum-dums. Let's have them back-to-back and then get a double play. That was one of the dumbest plays of the season. It's up there for the worst one of the year.
It is kind of wild how, like, obviously the players that come up through the system can be dum-dums because we don't teach them how to play baseball on the minor league level. But like when you come here from another organization, you inherit the dum-dum.
All right.
But I think Lou had the tweet of like, you're not seeing Story do that. You're not seeing Breggy do that. And it's like, hey, you're not seeing guys from out of the organization initially do this kind of stuff where they learn the game elsewhere.
We've talked about it with Narvaez, right? A lot is just being a rookie, and he looks very mature for his age. I think the only young guy that really has shown that a ton. I feel bad saying Roman has looked crazy out there, but Marcelo really screams like he looks like he's been playing in the big leagues for 5 years with just about everything.
I love him.
Does Rafael look particularly crazy? Like, am I forgetting something?
Last year, he got thrown out a ton on the bases.
Yeah.
But
he's been fine this year, right?
Yeah, this year he's been way better.
No. He's been called out multiple times for not hitting the cutoff man, which is just simple baseball fundamentals.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about bases.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just talking like fundamentals. That's all.
Yeah.
It's all encompassing.
He's still in the bad fundamentals occasionally class, which they all are.
And then not
basically.
only like fucking up, but then doubling down on it when he's asked about it. Being like, no, that was the right move. It's like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't.
That doesn't bother me, but I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the optics of it aren't great. But
The Willier
yeah,
throw.
I mean, he's
is
obviously
that this series, the Willier throw when he.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let it rip.
That was crazy. Because that's
like-
fundamentals leading up to the catch. Like he's catching that flat-footed and then crow hopping to throw home. Like that's literally little league stuff where you want to get a couple steps behind it, run into it, and then throw it because you're more balanced. Doing it kind of like flat-footed was pretty crazy, and to sail it like that, like that's what it bothers me because you have the arm. So if you do it correctly, you're more likely to actually like hit the catch. Good shout out Connor Wong for giving that a go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
jumping
dude,
as
the
high as he
vertical.
could.
he gave it the old college effort. He's like, all right, man, I'll try.
MLB admin posted the Rafaela vertical today. I was like, where was the Connor Wong one? Like, we couldn't get a Connor Wong version of that the day before.
What are we doing, Pose?
I don't know.
That's one of my favorite accounts ever. I love that account. They do a great job. But I mean, it's a home, we're so down right now and gave up a homer. It's like, yeah, but he kind of got up there. It's like, well, he wasn't even close to the ball, man. And he jumped off the wall. It's not like he just flat footed and went like 30 feet in the air.
And it was
nuts.
like 17 hours too late.
Yeah, I know.
Like the ball had bounced twice when he was
the fan that got the ball
up.
had already got like a hot dog. It's
Well,
like,
I'm
what are we
saying
doing?
It was the wrong home run to do like that. You do that for the Christian Moore one.
Exactly.
Like if you know you can do that, that's the catchable one.
I'd have to see it again. Did he just not get? I mean, he was cooking it though for that ball, wasn't he?
I think
No. I think he didn't think it was going to be a home run going over. Like I don't think he was calculating the line. I think he was like, I'm going to play this off the wall. Like I don't think he misplayed that. I think because of that today, he was like, oh, I'm going to scale the shit out of this thing. And then this one was much higher.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that had no chance to walk off, and then it just kept going.
Speaking of shit fundamentals, David Hamilton attempting to put the bunt down twice and then grounding into a double play.
Oh my God.
It's like, what are we doing? Like, of all the guys, man, you fucking grounded out into a double play. Come on.
Of all the scenarios there, T, that's actually for David Hamilton, that's the exact worst at bat he could have had there. Like messing up the two bunts, and then with your speed, you hit a laser to second base. So that's why it's a double play. He would beat that ball out basically in any other situation. That was probably the worst at bat of the weekend.
I also
Connor
put
Wong,
that a little bit on the
I think it's the weekend too. Why are we doing that?
I don't know. It all feels like a weekend. But for that one, once the Ham man is 0-2, I think you got to put hit and run on there because you're swinging.
Yeah.
And that way, I do think you avoid the double play. So everyone's in disarray. Everyone outside of Crochet.
He's on his own
it.
team. And it was
Chapman.
the same thing last year for Crochet. It's like he's the only guy that seems to make any sense on his team.
But we got to buy.
I'm buying.
I think that quote,
Playoffs,
if
dude.
they keep playing like this, that quote I think is going to be what buries Breslow. And he thought he had to say it in that moment to like quell the fear in the fan base. Like, oh, this isn't a sell move. We're gonna win so many baseball games and that we're gonna be buyers. We're gonna be the number one buyers. No one's gonna buy more than us. Now, if you don't buy at the deadline, you're not like, I think that's how you get fired here. Genuinely.
Well, that's where you look at Cora and it's like, well, you feel like you still have to prove something. So why do you feel like you have to prove something if the front office has already declared that we're going to buy and we're going to add these pieces? Like, shouldn't the attitude be, we're making the playoffs, we're making this push here, we're expecting reinforcements and going?
No alignment.
In regards to firing Craig Breslow, if you are the person making the decision on that, are you looking at it as we have to do the right thing? Like, this is not the right guy for the job. We have to fire him, even though the optics of that look horrible for us? Or are you saying we can't have another 2-year chief baseball officer? We can't do that. Like, it's just, we're never going to get any fruitful prospects for this position if we fire another person after just 2 years. It's going to be such a bad look.
I think it only happens if he doesn't buy. I think like the rest of the season is what's going to determine it, because he did make that proclamation for no reason. There was, to my knowledge, I didn't watch the press conference. I don't believe there was a gun to his head when he said that.
There wasn't.
Like, he offered that up.
Yeah.
So
Kennedy's just got a gun right.
to backtrack, we're not talking over the course of months, like 6 weeks. To backtrack that quickly, I think is allowed enough. Like, hey, there's no actual plan here. This guy's just kind of flying by the seat of his pants. And I think that is alarming enough to make the move.
To that question, Jerry, I don't think there's no way to know anything that this ownership group's going to do, or that even Breslow's going to do. Like, with the track record we have here, anyone's guess is as good as ours. There's a lot of things you'll see in the comments where you're like, well, that's maybe the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Those dumb things are now becoming more realistic because you just don't know what to expect for their next decision. So I do think there's part of ownership that's like, he just made an enormous decision for the future of our franchise. Obviously, they played a role in that. It's not like they were just like, yeah, do your thing, get rid of Raffy Devers. They were okay with that. So there does feel like there needs to be some kind of tying yourself to that decision and giving it some more time than just, 2 more months or 3 more months.
So here's where I'm at on this. If the Red Sox end up going down the shitter in the second half, then I can see some sort of radical change where everybody goes. It's just like they absolutely clean house. But for the last 4 years,
right? Unless they sold at the deadline, then it would be justifiable why they sucked. But I hear what you're saying.
Sure. But if there's anything that we've been able to learn from the last 4 years, it's that it's never going to get too bad, but it's never also going to get too good either. So it's just going to be another fucking year of, well, it wasn't so bad, right? Like, we were right there. We were 500. Like, if we just one more piece here or there, and then we got a winning record, then who knows what could have happened. So, like, I don't think the radical change comes with more mediocrity, but because there's no radical change, then there's just more mediocrity coming down the pipeline. Like, why would anything else change moving forward if no I guess philosophies change, if no leadership changes, if the voices don't change, why would anything else change? I don't get it.
One of the worst things to pair with what you just said there with that line is the 1-run losses, because that can be extremely misleading to how you view how this season is gone.
Oh, we just got unlucky.
Bad teams lose 1-run games, and you lost you lose by 1 run, you lost. That still counts as the same amount of losses as if you lost by 10 runs. So I don't want them to hang on to that and be like, well, if we ran this back 10 times, then we'd be fine. It's like, no, make sure that's not an excuse. They will, but I just hope they don't put too many chips in that pile where it's like, nah, you still lost all those games and bad teams lose those games.
Well, it's going to be the impact of the luxury tax, I think, too. Like, how they make that decision, what it looks like afterwards. Like, if Craig Breslow acts decisively and ends up selling and they get underneath, and it's like clear they look at this year and need to take a step back by the time you get to the deadline, I think that's something ownership can swallow, especially if you're working on a Bregman extension or something like that behind the scenes and it's all coming together. But if you go over and you stay over and you crash and burn, then I think you're starting to make it look a lot like it did, even like a 2022 for Heim. Because say what you will about Heim. Heim got 2020, 2021, 2022, and until September 2023. And you talk about Breslow being even greener as a front office guy, and they knew that. I feel like the leash is not short yet. But if you make a move and you're so convicted and you fuck up royally staying over, that's something that could accelerate this entire timeline.
See, I don't know that it has much to do. I mean, obviously, it is a factor, the moves that he makes and the effect that it has on, I guess, the record moving forward. But I don't know that John Henry loves the idea of all these pieces being written by very reputable sources being like, it's a fucking disaster over there. Like, what happened to the Red Sox? Like, this guy's a bad communicator. It's a mutiny over there. He's got people in his own front office that can't stand his ass. They're calling him a fucking stiff, and he's firing them for it. No matter what the record is, John Henry has a history of dismissing someone for one misstep. I guess it's more of a gauge on how much he really cares. And I think that there's been plenty of discourse over the last handful of years here. Is he more invested in soccer? Is he more invested in PGA? All this other stuff. But I'm willing to give him credit. Alex Bregman's not in the Boston Red Sox if John Henry isn't like, fuck it, give him 40. Because they were talking 30-ish for whatever, 3-year deal, 30 a year, until John Henry was like, if this is what it'll take to get it done, fuck it, give him 40. You have to care a certain extent to pay Alex Bregman $40 million a year, even if it is on a 1-year deal, whatever, with opt-outs. But I just can't sit here and think that John Henry is cool with all the bad press that has come out of his own front office this year. I don't think that he's like, well, we got to give him time to figure out the job. I don't think no offense, he doesn't really have a lot of time. You know what I mean? And
Theo was a guy who had to figure out the job on the fly, and he did it so immediately.
But I think Theo being in Craig's corner is something here that could buy him more time.
Do we know that?
At least going back to the offseason, we know Theo played a part in the Bregman process and convincing John Henry and doing a lot of those things. Now, listen, Theo also advocated for Heim, so that's part of it. Heim did have a longer timeline. But I think with Theo being someone who was a big believer in Craig Breslow, that earns you a longer leash with John Henry as well. Unless something massively blows up and goes nuts over the next couple months, if they bought and went way over and it fails miserably, yeah, that can accelerate anything. But I think if Craig Breslow was willing to say, hey, we're going to slip under, even if you do some buy sell, I think it'd be an understanding that this year went wrong, but it's not at the point of a firing yet.
But Henry and they don't fire people just because of process. It's also hey, did you embarrass the team? What is going to sway public opinion if I keep you here or if I fire you? Now, it may not be at that level yet, but I find it to be a tremendous misstep and a massive sign of hubris that he was we're buying. We didn't need this guy. We'll have won more games than we have lost simply by trading this guy away. And I know in his mind, he's probably factoring in Harrison once he comes up and making Hicks a plus reliever. Those are two things that need to happen in order for that to start on the path to becoming true. And even then, that might not be enough. So I just don't know why he committed to buying in that moment, other than to get it's kicking the can down the road, which is what we know about him. He's kicking the heat from the trade down the road, much like he's not making this decision that still needs to be made.
Well, I think that's why you look at this moment here and you say, well, you haven't done anything yet. That's a bad look on you. I think it would be an even worse look to sit here a month later if it's clear this team's not going anywhere and you're so stuck in your way that you're going to still buy just to say you buy. At that point, I would hope you're smart enough as a CBO and leader to say, hey, we got to recalibrate.
Hey.
A lot has happened in the last month. We need to adjust. I also think the fact that the clubhouse and the manager is not publicly speaking out against you. Cora for years was speaking out against Heim, whether it was through players or whatever it may be, down to the T-shirts at that very last end of Heim's run, where you have people in the dugout doing the underdog thing or whatever it may be. Right now, as we know, Cora was on Breslow's side when it came to moving Rafael Devers. The players, for the most part, have spoke like the move hasn't shaken them or pushed them off the ledge, even though the play-wise would tell you a different story. So until we see more of that public outrage, or at least it feels like the dugout's pushing back, I don't worry as much on that. But I would hope Craig Breslow is able to recalibrate and is not so stuck that he would look at that quote and say, I don't care what information I gather in the next month, I'm sticking to what I said. If that's the case, you should make that move now. If you're not going to make the move now, be willing to recalibrate.
I honestly wouldn't be stunned, by the way, if Breslow, when he computes all the numbers and all that, is aware that they are worse, but doesn't want to say it because of how much he was pissed off at Rafael Devers on a personal front.
I think it was his first line where he said, I'm not going to sit here and say that we're a better team.
Yeah, it is funny, though, to say that and then to say that I think we could win more games down the road. Those are directly contradicting each other. We're a worse team,
but boy, oh boy, are we going to win more games now than we would have if he was here.
He said we may look like a worse team on paper. he was like, but when you look at how all the pieces fit, was essentially his argument.
But I think from the personal side, we focused a lot on Rafael Devers and hearing what Poppy has to say, and everybody, coming out afterwards, and maybe the players, the lack of what they said was a negative towards Devers. But the personal element of it is still a big reason why Breslow made this trade too. And so for him to be that upset, feelings wise, or that his ego was hurt or any of that, I think is going to factor into some of these quotes. Even if he doesn't fully believe it, he's going to want to get in front of the camera and say, I think we're good, because even though deep down we just traded one of the best hitters in team history, like, fuck that guy. Like, he was a dick to me. So I think we're actually in a better position, even if he might not fully believe that. And then you say the buying thing, because that would then justify, blindly your feelings that you're going to be in a better position, even if they don't end up buying. He can at least say that, to your point, Coley, to be like, well, you can't prove me wrong now because the deadline hasn't happened yet. Like, I have a month to still exist, and that quote maybe being true. So that's probably how he feels. I hate all of this.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like, I don't. It's just so repetitive. I feel like I'm living the same season over and over and over again. And when I was talking to Maz, I mean, he's been in the business a long time, and I was like, is this the worst stretch of like Red Sox baseball that you've ever covered? And he mentioned the early 90s. And I was like, this has to be worse, because I feel like these seasons have come with expectation. Whereas that was back before this ownership group took over, and, they weren't like this high payroll, like, or supposed juggernaut in terms of financial flexibility. And I feel like we have to be living through one of the worst stretches of Red Sox baseball in history, where, like, it's one thing to suck, it's another to have expectations to be good and then suck.
And also have all the off the field stuff. Like, the amount of times that we've done Section 10 shows where it's not about what we love talking about, which is like something funny that happened in the game, or like a crazy walk-off, or all that. It's always this off the field drama and nonsense. And that happens over and over and over again. And to the point of this not really happening in terms of this consistent suckiness, they haven't missed the playoffs 4 years in a row since 1982. And that is now, that's what's on the line now, because they had the lockout there in 94, because that would have been 4 in a row. But yeah, it's been since 82 since this is the case, which, if my math is right, that's what? Is that 40 something years? So I think it's 43 years, something like that. Yeah. It's worse than that though, Jared, because, like, yeah, it's been 43 years since that, but you also factor in that they haven't really even been that close to the playoffs in this stretch.
No.
Like, it would have been one thing if you came down to the last day and it's like, we had to face their ace, and that's why we didn't make the wild card round. It's like, September has been mainly a useless month for us for 4 years in a row.
It's been fucking Rich Hill comeback territory. And that's what September has been.
Even your 2021 playoff run was that game 162. Like, that's what it was.
That September sucked too. That was one of the worst Septembers
terrifying
of our life. I hated that.
The Giancarlo Stanton homer off Darwinzon, that was like one of the most traumatizing moments.
He hit 900 against us in September.
I love the one that didn't go out. That was a funny one.
The walk-off first inning single.
I think that got Stantonian blast or whatever. But yeah, that was a certain word month, and these Septembers have not been fun. That was a month when we were growing up. Not all of us, because I know T, you and Jake and probably Kate grew up at a different time, but September was like, oh, here we go. Like, yeah, school was starting up, but who cares? Because we got a real, like, postseason run coming up, and this could be special. This could be the year. And now it's just a joke.
Please don't hurt me. Yeah.
Part of the reason I think I'm okay with, like, getting rid of some guys is, if they're gonna stink, I'd rather them all be like young, promising players. That's a more enjoyable viewing experience for me at home.
Isn't that what we already have though? Like, there's no one there's no one left to deploy at this point. Like, who are you excited to see that hasn't already been up here at some point?
But it's like Roman Anthony's not playing every day, which bothers me. Marcelo is bouncing back and forth. Christian Campbell's not here. He's not even playing AAA. Like, all of those guys, I'd much rather just watch here with no expectations, because they've had expectations. Campbell had expectations since opening day. Like, yeah, this is a playoff team. You're a big part of that. And then Anthony and Meyer were brought up to be band-aids on bullet wounds and be like, all right, you guys got to carry us. So like releasing that pretense from them, I think would be tremendously beneficial and more enjoyable for me.
I do like that. It looks like Marcelo Meyer is going to be getting a lot of reps, and credit to him in this series, hitting lefties very well in that second game. Now that he's playing second base against lefties, I think that's going to be a pretty regular thing. So that's getting him exposed. And for the most part, Roman Anthony's been facing lefties too. Got abused by Reed Detmers in the series, Tyler Anderson as well. Today he did sit. But it seems like both of them are getting more opportunities against lefties than Wilyer Abreu did early in his career, Tristan Casas, or Jarren Duran. So I do think we're starting to see that kind of flip to another level where Cora isn't handling them in a cookie cutter way like he has in the past, which needs to happen. They're all
better players than the guys you mentioned at this stage of their careers.
Yeah, agreed. And I think that's why you handle them a bit differently. It's also a state of the roster thing as well.
For sure. 1,000%.
Wilyer today, I was happy to see against a lefty, even though it didn't go well. I was like, all right, like give him the opportunity.
He got screwed in the ninth. Not that it mattered at all, but that ball was definitely high.
Yeah. But in AAA right now, like I want to see Christian Campbell back up. I hope first base is something he can pick up in a couple weeks. Got his first start there today. Besides that, Kyle Harrison probably is the only other name that you really get super excited about down there.
I don't know that I'm super excited, T.
I'm excited for Kyle Harrison.
Super excited?
Call it like an 8.5 out of 10.
No, that's crazy.
I'm intrigued.
Do you think it's super a 100% chance that we see Christian Campbell again this year?
I wouldn't say 100, but I'm confident we'll see him. I feel like I'd put it like I'm like 80% sure.
Where's like the higher lower date for you?
What do you mean?
Like where's the date of like up. This is the one that
we'll see projected. Him by this date. Where would you say
August 1st, right after the deadline.
Okay,
it's gonna be down another month.
Yeah, I'd say they're gonna give him a couple weeks to really reset and get back on track. And right around that time, they're gonna make the decision, especially if they're not planning to buy in a significant way. It's like, all right, bring Campbell up and let him run the last 2 months of the season. If not, you may see at that point they go and get a guy that makes sense as a, first base option if they're in it and they want to try and compete. I'm not saying that's like a Josh Naylor or whatever it may be, but I think Romy Gonzalez is going to be on this roster one way or the other. And if that's the case, you're finding a lefty platoon for him.
I just don't like the optics of it all. And I know like people kept saying, oh, Jackson Holiday got sent down. Like, don't worry about it. Jackson Holiday got sent down. It's like Jackson Holiday is not even really doing that great this year. Like, it's not like he came back. Like Jackson Holiday at the big league level is hitting 232 with a 661 OPS in 507 plate appearances. That's not good.
108 OPS plus.
Sick. Well, no, it's 90 for his career though.
Okay, well, I'm just looking at
whatever. That's not the point. Like I hope they handle this correctly with Campbell, because I think we all know how special of a player he can be, but it's always jarring when you have that top guy that you're just hoping gets unleashed at the big league level and they become that superstar, or at least show flashes of it. It's almost like we're spoiled by like some of like the all-time like Red Sox homegrown greats. They like Pedroia obviously had that struggle in 2006 and then also at the start of 2007, but he wasn't demoted. It was kind of just like, give me like a month and then I'll figure it out. So I don't know. We've kind of just been really fortunate historically with guys coming up that were supposed to be great, becoming great.
I mean, Jarren's a guy who got bounced back and forth. Like it is remarkable when you see a guy break through like that after going back and forth so many times, because usually guys like that kind of get stuck like that. They never are fully anywhere. I mean, Jackie Bradley Jr., I thought it was malpractice how they handled the beginning of his career. It was like they weren't giving him a long enough runway at all at certain times. Xander felt super rare. They were just like, hey, can you be like a main contributor to this World Series team? And he was like, no problem.
And even then, right? Like you have that kind of storybook first year where he comes up, and then the next couple of years are really hard and up and down for him. You know, for a long time, it was Xander first half, go out there, post a high batting average, and then you knew in the second half he was going to crater and run out of gas.
Well, he would usually like break his wrist or something, and he would just play through it. And it was always respectable. But yeah, before, what was it, 17, when he had that like 30 home run season, which felt like out of nowhere. Before that, people were like, get this guy the fuck out of here. Like the fan base had really soured on Xander up, and it was like, I remember, I think it was 16 or 15. He was leading the league in batting average by a lot back when that fucking mattered, Steve.
Yeah.
And he broke his wrist. And I think hit like 150 the rest of the way. And everyone was like, this guy just doesn't have it. And every time he swung the bat, he was like screaming in pain. But yeah, Devers, I mean, I don't know if we can mention how good he was immediately and continued to be.
But even like 2018 was a battle, right? Like 2018, the numbers weren't like something you looked at and you were like, holy shit. Yeah, 2018, he had a 94 OPS plus in 120 games. And then the next year, it's a 132 OPS plus. So it's like,
right.
To me, that's another reason why you look at the Devers trade and this whole thing. Like Roman and Marcelo, like these guys are going to have ups and downs. They're going to work through things. There's going to be growing pains. To put this much on them this early just feels so unfair and so... just feels like very poor management. I really don't know if there's another way to frame it. And some of it's bad luck, right? Alex Bregman going down, but I think that's once again where the Alex Bregman extension conversations really get going because you need an anchor. You need someone you can lock in here. Cool. Coley?
I want to preface this by saying I don't believe our front office is savvy enough to pull this off.
Okay.
We got the report that they are, or Bregman and Boris are open to contract discussions with the Red Sox. What if we like came to terms, didn't agree to, didn't sign anything, traded him, and then he signed here November 1st?
That seems like your department, Jared.
No, I'm not saying would he be down with that, but it's like, hey, we're willing, we want you here. We also know you want to compete right now. So obviously, we can really build something special here if we get a couple assets for you and then sign you right the fuck back, pal.
So do you want to go to Detroit, but you promise us you opt out? That would be
If he opts in, that's his business. But it sounds like he wants to opt out based off of the contract he signed in the first place.
That would be a lot of loyalty to a team you just signed with and a team that traded away Rafael Devers.
It's loyal to the money.
No, I suppose, but that's also believing in the team.
It's loyalty to Cora.
No, yeah, but still, you're believing in a team that's made some questionable decisions and continues to do so.
If you're the Red Sox, I think the way you go about it is there's 2 more years on this current deal, trying to get those so they're no longer opt-outs. But you have Trevor Story and Masataka Yoshida, who after 2027, their contracts will be off the books. At that point, I believe their luxury tax number is around $150 million. I was looking at Red Sox payroll today. So will Craig Breslow be willing to say, fuck my philosophy, almost in a way that resembles a John Lester to David Price moment, where you know you're doing something that you wouldn't typically do or want to do, but you're willing to eat, what you would call Bregman's 34, 35, maybe even 36 season, because you have the room financially to take on a bad contract because you're no longer paying Trevor Story and Yoshida $41 million.
And all the other rehabbing pitchers that you have here that are going to be off the books as well.
Yeah, Hicks is off the books after 2027. He's making 12.5 the next 2 years as well.
Buehler, there's so much, but there's $55 million between all the rehabbing guys.
I was looking at Red Sox payroll for next year. You'd be surprised how much is already on the books. They're at $240 million already. They're at $240 already.
Does that has to include Bregman opting in?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so it's under 2 realistically. Because Giolito has a hole. Does Giolito have some? Cotillo was writing it he may be here next year.
Club option for $12 million as long as he doesn't get to 140 innings. He's at 50 right now. He's not getting there.
So we could easily decline that, and he gets paid $2 million, and he's a free agent.
or you trade him and another team values it, because for $12 million in a starting pitcher at this point in time, if he looks like anything the last 3 starts, that's a pretty decent deal.
I think we're savvy enough for that. We'd have to trade him at the deadline. That we can't. That's not off-season nonsense. Like fuck that up.
We're just talking like different possibilities you have here, though.
Sure.
You know. But yeah, if you're just looking here, future projected 2026, they're at 233.85 right now, but that is with Bregman opting in.
I mean, from what you and Giolito's 12 then too. Sorry, Steve.
From what you proposed there, Coley, I know they would never do that, but it sounds wonderful. That sounds like
it's an unbelievable
sounds like
plan.
a sick plan, because like I'd be pumped, and I never say this really, but I would be pumped if they definitively bought or sold and just actually chose a path. And if this was part of that, where you knew you were getting Bregman back and you knew you were getting him, maybe not at a crazy deal, but at least now he's kind of the face of your team, which seemingly would check all the boxes. What Alex Bregman does, that's the guy that you would want to be on all the posters and everything. Yeah, I would totally be down for that, factoring in whatever that contract looks like, and especially what you would get for what that deal would be. I mean, he'd only guaranteed have to be paid 13 for 15 million. What would that be? Like a third of 40? Is that basically what
year?
Yeah, for the
it'd be like a third of 25, wouldn't it, T?
For Bregman?
What would he be owed if he ever got dealt?
I think it'd be 10 million.
10 million. Okay, perfect. Okay. And that's like, how many teams would want to do that? There's a ton of teams that would want to do that, especially if he can prove after the deadline. I don't know. Yeah, that's another tough thing. Like, is there
that would get you under the tax, though? You're 8 million over.
It would. But like, teams would probably want to see what he looks like after injury, and it sounds like there might not be a big gap between that and the deadline. But yeah,
I think as long as he's playing, they're fine with it because they know what they're getting. You know,
yeah, they're willing to take that risk, I would assume.
And I'd be willing to eat that money the rest of the year if it got way better players, because you can get under that number. Like with the Chapman trade, no one's gonna that's going to be what, T, like 3-4 million.
Yeah.
And then a couple other guys, like an outfielder will be moved at this point. Like there's other ways to get under that, especially like I still think someone would take Buehler. You're not getting anything back for him, don't get me wrong, but I do think someone is out there just like, hey, he's basically doing the same thing he did last year with the Dodgers. We know we're making the playoffs. We just need an arm.
And other teams looking at it like, what pitcher goes to the Red Sox and gets better? Nobody. Also. So we can just make this guy. It's definitely going to be better than whatever he's doing now. So it's only uphill from there. Right. Yeah,
Giolito got traded twice when he did this shit.
No, that's true. There are suitors for trash pitchers. They are out
for
there.
Pitchers. People just need innings, especially just to get to the playoffs. Like, fucking Peavy was kind of that for us. Like, we've done that with arms. Yeah, just get us there.
I'm so fascinated to hear Craig Breslow's outlook on Bregman, and because truthfully, he's going to have to swallow whatever his outlook was this offseason and basically admit, like, I have no leverage here. We're telling Roman Anthony to hang out next to Alex Bregman every day. Who else can be your anchor the next couple of years? Because you look at the free agent class and the way contracts are handed out today, it's Kyle Tucker, it's Bo Bichette, Josh Naylor. Like, if you're looking for someone who can really anchor this lineup and you feel good about it, especially with Christian Campbell now learning first, now maybe you could move Meyer to third in this scenario and Campbell to second and you sign a Josh Naylor. I don't know, but it feels like so badly they want Alex Bregman to be the brand, to be the leader, to be kind of what the organization lacks. And Breslow is going to have to do something he wouldn't want to do. That's what it's going to really be.
It was literally my first thought when the Devers trade happened was, I guess Bregman's the guy. I guess that's what they want. And they'll rip up the contract and make him more of the long-term guy. Because if that's not the case, when we looked at the free agents coming up, I'm not fully sure what the plan is. Then again, it's not to say that they made that trade knowing what the plan is. It's just probable that they just wanted to make the trade and then we'll figure it out as we go along. That's the most probable outcome.
I mean, being that he's a Boris guy, I understand that he's on your team currently. I understand what the relationship is with Alex Cora, but you're playing a dangerous game when you trade Raffy first and then you want to negotiate with Scott Boras. You've given up all your leverage. You can't then go to Scott Boras and say, you know, we'd love to have Bregman long term. He's a face of our franchise, we feel, moving forward. we do have, if you guys want to like go crazy with the price, I mean, obviously we have Raffy. We don't need Bregman, but it's like now you need him. You absolutely need him. So people keep asking, what have you heard? I haven't heard shit. Like, I'm not going to like, I don't pry for that stuff. Like if people want to tell me stuff, great. But if not, I don't go digging for it. But where are you guys at on terms of the timeline of this? None of you, because it's Boris, I mean, none of you think he's going to like rip this up and negotiate in season. I know that he said some shit because he's always at the Angels games like, oh, we're open to talk whenever. Yeah, okay. Like I'm sure so. You are.
Matt Chapman
exactly.
is a Boris guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he just did this literally last year.
Matt
so
Chapman.
There is Matt Chapman is a very recent example. Yeah. Same position and everything. And while I agree we gave them all the leverage in the world, we also do know his market because he just sat as a free agent and was one of the last guys to sign because he knew his other offers. I can't imagine a year older coming off of like a decent injury, not like a major injury, but an injury nevertheless that caused him this time. I don't know that even all those offers will be there. So I don't know. It's a weird and unique situation where I think you can just be like, hey, we're gonna it's like a soccer loan almost. Like you're loaning him to a different team and then you're gonna bring him back at a bigger number. Like that's kind of how you got to look at it. I don't have any confidence they're able to pull this off.
Don't you think these quotes could have they only really happen because everybody's there in Anaheim? They're just in the same place and talking to him. So like these quotes could have happened a couple weeks ago and they just happen to happen now because of location. So I don't necessarily read into it too much outside the fact that Boris loves to talk and he wants to be seen. He stands up the entire freaking game and he knows he's right in that camera's view. So I don't know. I saw the report and I was excited just because I want Breggy to be the guy here for a little bit. But then you also tame it down a little bit where it's like Scott Boras is going to say whatever he wants to say. And if people are asking him questions, he's more than willing to stir the pot a little bit and get everybody talking about his client.
If I'm the Red Sox, I think you go to the All-Star break and you try almost in a way like you did with the Cora extension, where you're kind of telling him like, do you want to be in this with us? Like we are at a point, we traded our franchise player. You are the guy here. We know we have to get uncomfortable to make this work. We're going to have to invest. Listen, you're going to be a free agent next year if you opt out at 32 years old. Like we can figure out something here to take care of your 35 and age 36 season. But we want you to be everything that we are. We're dysfunctional. We have problems. You are the version of all these things. Can we figure out a place where we meet in the middle here and we give you some certainty? We have certainty for the organization moving forward here. And no matter what's going to play out post All-Star break, we at least know this isn't a huge thing we have to figure out over the offseason, because you're talking about the work they're going to need to do on the rotation as is. To have to try and figure out who's going to be the veteran anchor of a young team like this, that seems like hell to deal with over the offseason and go through another bidding war, wait other teams out. Like try and figure this out right now. Like, hey, you don't have to worry about getting traded. We're not going to move you. Let's get on the same page.
We're dysfunctional. We have no fucking clue what we're doing. We just traded our best player because our egos got hurt.
Years.
Do you want to commit?
Shit your
you
pants
sign right now?
Yeah.
Like, you guys went out on the date this year and you shit your pants. You embarrassed yourself. Like,
that
the
would
team
suck
failed.
if you shit during the date. Oh my god!
Your
So
pants
far
on a date.
Imagine if the date was going well and then you're like, and you just pooped your pants.
Just like fucking. So like, what sign are you? I'm gonna quit.
I think that's the way, though. You have to approach this.
That's how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how
just get that poop out and just see how he feels about it. Like, is he okay with it?
Yeah.
You're either very serious about Alex Bregman or you shouldn't be at all.
You kind of have to be, right? I don't think they have. I don't want to say they don't have much of a choice but to be serious about Breggy, but you kind of have to be with the current, state of the team.
Look at the lineup. That's all. That's really it. Who can you depend on? Like, who is someone that can show up, isn't going to go through a sophomore slump or whatever it may be? Go be the adult there. You cared so much that you moved Roman Anthony's locker next to him. If I have to read another story about the iPad and him sitting with Marcelo Meyer when everyone in the dugout celebrating a win or whatever it may be, how much work he's done with the pitchers.
Extend him.
I hope it gets done. I do.
Do you think it will?
I don't want to say, because like I feel like people will take it as informed. I need to get more of a feel for what's going on back there. And I feel like, I'll get a pulse on it at some point. But as of right now, I'm just trying to put myself in his shoes. And I know that we were joking, but like I would feel that way. It's like, hey, we're super dysfunctional. We have no idea what the fuck's going on. We haven't made the playoffs since 2021. We just traded our franchise player over a beef with our general manager. We're super emotional. Our manager and our CBO don't get along at all. Everyone thinks that the owner is super checked out and only cares about soccer and hockey and golf. But will you just fucking commit the rest of your career to this place? Like, just
sign the paper right now and make it team friendly, please. Will you make it team friendly as well?
I think the team friendly thing's over. You're not getting that.
Hey, when did it begin? We give him 40 a year.
Yeah,
you're right. That was never team friendly.
Yeah, take a discount, and also can you while you're doing all this, like carrying our franchise and also being the spokesperson for the team, can you also mentor the next generation at the same time? Can you do that?
I think that's a plus, though. That's something he seemingly has really enjoyed doing.
Sure.
They did take deferrals, so that was the team friendly aspect of it.
Knocked it to 30 on the books each year.
The one thing I do think can weigh a factor here, and Jared brought it up when we interviewed him. He can really only hit at Fenway Park. He stinks everywhere else.
That's
Everyone knows
true
that about him. So I do think he is like you just said. Is he entering 32 or he is 32?
He's going to turn 32 next year. Will be his age 32 season.
Okay, so next year's age, like he is, I believe, cognizant about like where is on like the Baines meter, for example. Like he has a chance to really put some big time Hall of Fame numbers on the back half of his career at Fenway Park, where I don't know a lot of places else that would be able to pay him and allow that for half a year. So I do think Fenway helps tremendously here.
You want a fun Bregman set at home this year? 268, 379, 505, 884 OPS. On the road, 330, 391, 600 slug, 991 OPS.
Jeez.
I would have never guessed that in my brain.
I proved Jared wrong. He was like, I can hit other places too, man.
He did say that.
But that's the other part of it here. It's like, are the Red Sox going to be investing in a guy who, was on a decline the last 3 seasons before this? What he did here when he showed up was incredible and cool, especially in a big market. But like, truthfully, do you believe he's going to be an MVP candidate the next couple of years? Like, that feels like a bit of a stretch. But that's what the guy almost had 3 B WAR in 50 games. It was a 9 WAR season.
I just got the passing tweet. Red Sox Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow on succeeding without Rafael Devers in 2025. I do think that there's a real chance that at the end of the season, we're looking back and we've won more games than we otherwise would have. And I said the Red Sox are 0-79 since this quote.
I clicked on it because it just happened. It appeared atop my timeline when you said it. And then underneath that, the Discover More, it has your tweet from 4 hours ago that says, thank you to the best fans in baseball, which is what teams post when their season is over. So what happened there? Hacked?
Must have been hacked like someone else.
When I look ahead and you wind up dead, if you don't listen to what Steve says, even then you might still wind up dead. Caught in a tornado, get smoked by your neighbor's shed. When I look ahead, when I look ahead, Billy's gummy bears, chew 'em with your mouth.
Weather Look Ahead, brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears.
You chew them with your mouth, Steve.
You chew them with your damn mouth. Enjoy your off day, everybody. Thursdays have become such a great day. There's been no Red Sox baseball. You can just be peaceful and just do what you want to do. You can eat a pizza. You can have a nice ice cream cone. You can go for a walk. You can hang out with your family.
It won't be this Thursday. We'll be we'll have some Red Sox stuff to do talking to Grady Little on
Grady
Thursday.
Little interview coming up. But for most everyone listening, they're not talking to Grady Little. So enjoy your off day and have fun with it. Game 1, Friday, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, first pitch. No. 66 degrees, cloudy.
Well, hold on. You said it wasn't going to rain.
Yeah, that doesn't. You do that for the.
Yeah, but it's
the other
it's
temp.
I'm saying it's the summertime. So if it's going to be 66, that kind of makes it sound like, ooh, rain is coming.
21% chance of rain, but should be fine. 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to the pesky
You're taking
pole.
that chance?
That's 1 out of 5. That's 1 out of 5. We're fine. I think we're good. We're good. We're good.
Stevie P guaranteed no rain, and it's 21%.
I didn't do that. I didn't say that.
I felt like you did.
I said we're fine. I will.
It was
SPG
heavily
rain delay. SPG no rain delay for game 1.
It was heavily implied you said no rain, period.
SPG no rain delay for game 1. Game 2, Saturday, 4:10 Eastern, 70 degrees, cloudy, 24% chance of rain. There might be a delay on this one. The rain is on Saturday.
What the fuck, Steve?
I'm just telling you the weather. Come on.
But, I know. But what's the percentage of rain on Saturday?
I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna be like, then what is it on Friday? I know the percentages.
Go ahead. Say it. What's the percentage?
I'm basing it off the emojis for the hourly. You're not factoring that in.
What's the percentage of rain on Saturday?
It's 24%.
All right, so it's fucking.
No, Jared, you're not factoring in the next hours that come after this. I'm normally pretty good with the weather, just for the record. T.
Oh God,
the percentage
it's gonna rain all weekend.
The percentage of like the area. Let's get past that.
Okay,
24% chance of rain, 8-mile-an-hour winds.
Can we talk about this? Can we talk about this, Steve? You're the weather. You're the
only.
I'm
the weather guy. Exactly. I'm the weather guy. You're
the only weather guy that doesn't want to have a fucking back and forth about the weather. You're the only one.
Weather guys have back and forths on the news. I don't think. That
was a caller line.
I don't think the guy at the desk is like, "Hey Jim, I'm not fully sure about that one over there. I'm pretty sure you fucked it up."
All right, but listen. If it's going to be 24% rain on Saturday, but 22% on Friday,
21 on Friday.
Why are you so confident that there's going to be no rain on Friday and then we're fucked on Saturday? What does that mean?
Do you want the real reason? Here?
No, what's Sunday?
Sunday, game 3, 1:35 p.m. Eastern, first pitch, 71 degree. No. Mostly cloudy, 17% chance of rain, 8-mile-an-hour winds blowing out to center, just as they are in game 2. Highest chance of rain, by the way, like you guys know, is on Saturday for game 2. So be prepared for that. That is your weather look ahead, brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears. You chew them with your mouth. Nate, no rain delays on Friday, so that's a good thing, Jared, because we're going to be there.
Oh, I feel like I have to bring. Oh my God, the people.
You going to bring a poncho?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coley, would you bring a poncho on Friday based on this weather report?
I'd bring a canoe.
Oh my God, dude. I almost don't want to go now.
Nah,
I have to go, but I'm really reluctant to go there without some sort of protection from the weather that Steve said.
You don't need to bring protection on Friday.
Jake, how do you feel about the weather on Friday?
I'm bringing at least 3 umbrellas.
Yeah, like
umbrellas for the fellas. That's Jake for you.
Yeah. T, do you even own an umbrella?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
The odds were very low that he had.
Yeah.
I don't even know where you get those. Is there like an umbrella
CVS
store?
Yeah.
Most stores.
Most places have.
I think those are outdated. I don't think people really use them anymore.
I mean, you're just not living in an area where you would need one, I guess.
Or outside that much.
Yeah. Living in Manhattan, everyone owns an umbrella walking around in the city.
I don't believe in umbrellas because they're witch technology.
I'm sorry?
The fact that they can cause you like bad luck inside and shit like that. Yeah, I don't fuck with them.
Which technology? Because if you open an umbrella, where did the what's that called? It's not a myth. Where did the urban legend come from? That opening an umbrella in the house is bad luck. Where did that start?
Feels like an Egypt classic.
Yeah. Yeah. That wouldn't shock me at all.
Big rain problem out there in Egypt.
That is true. You can't open an umbrella
Said this belief is rooted in various cultural traditions and historical contexts, with the most common explanation being that it is an insult to the sun god.
Jake, it does come from Egypt.
Yeah, nailed it.
The
Ancient
urban
Egypt.
legend that opening an umbrella inside brings bad luck likely stems from a combination of ancient beliefs and practical concerns. Here's a breakdown of the leading theories. Ancient Egypt. Umbrellas were used for sun protection, not rain. Opening one indoors away from the sun could have been seen as disrespectful to the sun god and a way to invite his wrath upon the household. It does come from ancient Egypt. Holy shit.
Jared,
tried
what
to
do you
warn
think what do you think the sun god sounds like?
Please forgive us.
The sun
He is
god, you saying that
stupid
too?
and clueless. Yes.
T, that's exactly wait, T, what does the sun god sound like, T?
No, I don't know what he sounds like. I don't think he talks. He just burns you to death if you speak
Yeah.
out against him or do anything wrong. I don't want third-degree burns.
What would it sound like, T, if you were getting those burns?
I could see that.
You asked. Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy?
I think that tracks. I think that's exactly what
That
it
was
sound
part 2 of I figured it out, guys.
Yeah.
You ever watch someone burn to death?
No.
All right
no.
then.
like. What, last Tuesday?
I mean, with
Yeah.
this Twitter, like, yeah, probably, honestly.
Yeah.
T,
When I was a young child, I was sleeping in my sister's bedroom, very young. Like we're talking like 3rd or 4th grade. And my sister lit the entire bed on fire. My dad was sleeping on the couch. And he had one of those old time lighters that like, it's not like a Bic lighter today or whatever. Like you
Zippo
just open
lighter?
it. I don't know. I was sleeping and she lit the bed on fire while I was sleeping on it. And she crawled under the bed. I think she was trying to kill herself. I don't know what she was doing. She was a kid. But the entire bed caught on fire along with my entire childhood home while my mom was at work and my dad was asleep. My dad woke up with the house on fire and he took his hands and smashed the bed because it was on fire and I was sleeping. I never woke up during any of this. Burnt completely his hands like to a horrendous level. He was out of work for over a year. They didn't know my sister was in the house underneath the bed because she was just vibing. My dad basically punted on her and was accepting her death. And then my mom came home because she worked down the street. So she came home and thought my sister was dead. And then they found her underneath the bed when they were putting the fire out.
yeah, that's happened to all of us, though. Like, it's a normal childhood experience.
I just was upset that I wasn't awake. All I remember is like the firefighter.
Where were you
holding
for
me.
this, T?
Knocked out cold on the bed. Like I slept through all
The
of it.
bed that was on fire?
Correct. Crazy, man.
What?
Red Sox lose 5-2.
Oh, T.
This
It
explains
happens.
a lot, man.
Yeah, no, that's a normal that we've all been through that. So it's
Yeah,
crazy that you
yeah.
had to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister tried to kill me.
Or herself,
Yeah.
it sounds like. I don't know.
Yeah, she lit the bed on fire that you were sleeping in and then got underneath it.
Correct.
And you were how old?
Probably like 9, maybe.
she was
How older
old?
than I thought.
6. It was so bad.
I'm still not getting the you not waking up thing. That
It's
doesn't-
crazy.
Yeah.
I'll have
Heavy
my mom. She
sleeper.
can come on and tell the story. But after that, my mom quit the post office because she didn't trust my dad to watch us anymore. And then she bought a tanning salon.
Okay.
Get the irony?
Yeah.
I did.
She
Yeah.
was like, speaking of burning in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And your dad burned his hands trying to put out the fire.
Yeah, my mom said it was the hottest thing he had ever done in his whole life. He just like used his hands to put out the fire.
Literally. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she literally quit her job. She was
Yeah.
she was soaking.
She was out.
She was so turned on that she
All right.
quit her job.
All right.
And that's actually what put the fire out. Hey.
Oh.
No, all right. Please stop.
Hand me that fire hose.
All
Yeah.
right. No,
Oh.
don't talk about my mom like that. Please. I'm begging.
Twisted the hydrant.
Yeah, it was a really traumatic time for my family.
I bet you got lit on fire and then your parents just went to town right in front of
Yeah.
a horrifying night.
Yeah. Here.
Wait, hold on. Mariah. Hold on.
He's just doxing his whole family.
Oh God, that's incredible.
She's not answering me. I think she's.
I think the best part about T is not just that story, but that how many shows have we done since bringing Section 10 back? And we're just hearing that now.
I mean,
I thought I told it on Name Redacted back in the day.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I mean, we've watched you light your current, I guess your last
this
bedroom
runs in the
almost on
family.
fire.
The whole light stuff on fire thing.
Flame does excite me.
Oh yeah, we noticed.
The fireman coming. That should be your walk up at the next live show.
Yeah.
Let's do it, baby.
You know, all this reminds me of Ridge wallets.
Mm-hmm.
T, you I know you got that Ridge on you, baby.
Fortunately, my first wallet got taken out in that fire. It burnt to friggin' shreds. It was not strong enough to survive what we needed it to.
Oh no, but
survive.
Ridge that was your old wallet, but Ridge,
of course,
would have survived. Yes.
No, that's what makes Ridge so special, and it means so much to my entire family. You know what's so great about the wallet is that it's unique, slim, modern design, and it can hold up to 12 cards plus cash. It's made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. And fortunately, Ridge has over 50 colors and styles to choose from. I would show you guys my wallet, but it's across the room right now, and my back's been in a lot of pain. But all Ridge products have a lifetime warranty. This is literally the last wallet you'll ever have to buy. Does it give you peace of mind knowing that all Ridge wallets have RFID blocking technology, keeping you safe from digital pickpocketers? It should, because that's what Ridge wallets do. They have over 100,000 5-star reviews overall. Losing your wallet's the worst, but with Ridge AirTag attachment, you always know exactly where it is before panic mode kicks in. I'm someone who leaves their wallet on top of their car very frequently. So instead of having to look on the side of the highway for it, you won't have to do that with a Ridge wallet. And they're not just about wallets. They create premium everyday carry essentials like key cases, suitcases, and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. No matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all their products. Right now, just in time for Father's Day, Ridge is having a huge sale.
Just in time.
Just in time. You know, we're always looking at the calendar and shit. Get up to 40%.
And shit.
Get up to 40% off.
2026 Father's Day. Like, there's so much. You got plenty of time.
Get up to 40% off your order at ridge.com/section10. Just head to ridge.com/section10 to find the perfect gift for dad next year or yourself. When you check out the last where you heard about them, please support our show and tell them we sent you. Give dad the upgrade he deserves next year.
Next year. Got 11 months to get ready for the big day.
Oh. You know, we're always looking at the calendar and shit.
You know what we be doing.
Fuck. Shout out Ridge.
We stay checking calendars over here, dog. You think we're not looking at calendars? All right.
Don't be a fool. Come on.
Okay. Fucking idiot. We stay callied up.
Yeah.
On this side.
Yeah. We always be looking at calendars and shit.
Oh,
You'll never catch me not knowing what the date is. Never.
Yeah.
Not once.
Sounded
Not
like Brez
once.
for a second there.
Yeah.
I don't know when Father's Day last week.
Like
I
2
think
weeks?
it's 2 weeks
It
ago.
was
Yeah.
two Sundays ago, but you had plenty of
Yeah.
time for the next one.
Yeah.
Ridge Wallace.
There's nothing but time between now and the next Father's Day. Shout out Ridge, man. Is there anything else that we didn't hit on that we should have?
Connor Wong, first RBI. Shout out to him.
Shout him out,
Toss
dude.
T. Toss T for that.
Whoa.
Because it was also a sack fly.
Right.
It wasn't even good RBI.
That's kind of what it was always going to be, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a base hit RBI for Connor Wong. Come on.
He also threw out a runner that game before later in the game. He threw a ball into center field.
Because he knew he was due for that. He's like, I'm playing
Yes.
way too good of baseball. I need to suck.
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. We kind of got it. We kind of got everything out of the way.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy that doing a podcast for over 2 hours feels like a light show, but like there's no point in going game by game on this one.
No.
Everyone's got their ball talk, all that.
I missed the Notebook.
Yeah, I mean, like the Notebook it's just such a fucking pill when they're playing like this. Like I don't want to take notes about how much they suck and all the mistakes that they made. Like I want to like take notes about funny stuff that I have noticed and like pitcher lines that I don't want to shoot myself when I look at them or look back at them. Which again, like, you know, there's certain individuals on this team where I'm like, how did you make it this far? Really? Like, how are you still on the team? How have they not been like, clearly this person does not belong? But I digress. The only final note I have, I got an unbelievable cameo request for, it was an instruction telling me how would Craig Breslow try to lower people into the lifeboats as the Titanic was sinking? How would he handle that situation?
Was that the video like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
I haven't
watch
watched
it?
it yet. I saved it for later. I didn't want to watch it while I was in the middle of work.
Hey, Jared,
like-
I've got an idea for a funny video. Imagine it's the night of the Titanic sinking. Captain Craig Breslow has to get people onto the lifeboats and keep everyone calm. Can you please demonstrate how he would do this? So, yeah, keep him creative. I mean, I very much enjoy it. I know T just gets weird questions. I get like skit prompts.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, happy to do it.
Yeah, we'll take any of them.
Yeah.
Definitely gotten some birthday ones. A lot of wrestling, obviously. You know.
Yeah.
That's to be
Shout out
expected.
Colby. He turned 30 yesterday.
Oh, did he?
You know
Shout out our
Colby.
guy,
Remember
Colby.
Alex Verdugo?
I know who the fuck he is. I
Colby's
didn't
the
know.
GOAT.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
so
I'm just for people they didn't remember.
I did a cameo for his birthday today. So his birthday was yesterday.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
we
did
all
it today?
I think.
Yeah,
You did it today?
I think his girlfriend or his friend reached out and was like, I asked everybody for a version.
Oh,
Mhm.
That's cool. Yeah, he's 30. I met Colby in San Diego, 2019.
Yeah, he had the flag and everything.
Yep. And then we
I
went to
thanked
like some
him.
Mexican restaurant, right?
I wasn't there. You were there with Brent.
Oh yeah. You didn't come on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
trip?
No, I was not on that trip. I wish I was. San Diego sounds great, but probably had some BR stuff going on. Colby's the man. He's super loyal. He brings that Section 10 flag everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and always represents the brand. He's great.
Yeah, that's what I said.
He was one of the few people who liked me when we first started Name Redacted and all that. So it meant a lot because he
And
would
all
always
that
tweet
shit.
me.
Look at that come up though, T. People were like, this guy doesn't fit. This guy, he doesn't shut the fuck up. This guy's weird looking. This guy's hair's
Ugly.
fucked
Man,
up.
they're
Yeah.
spitting. Yeah.
Yeah. And then look at you now, T. You're a sex symbol. You're a Boston icon.
A cameo legend at
You're
this
a
point.
cameo legend. You're an icon, as they say.
Thank
How's
you
that
for
feel,
believing
T?
in me.
I
I just try not to
always knew.
disappoint.
I always knew, T. I always knew. Yeah, okay.
I'll stop.
Um,
I'm going to ruin it.
how's that feel, T?
Overwhelming, but in a good way. And I just don't want to ever take this platform and not show my appreciation or loyalty to it because I wouldn't be anything without it. and I'm happy to have come here and been able to play my part.
Yeah, you play a big part, T.
Look at that answer. That was a great answer there. That's PR trained right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was like the anti-Raffy answer right there.
I played third.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there are currently discussions ongoing about a Section 10 booze cruise.
Hell yeah.
I'm just going to call it a Section 10 cruise because I don't want to alienate any sober Section 10 fans. Don't think that it's going to be some rager that you're going to feel uncomfortable at. All Section 10 listeners are welcome. It's not going to be some college drunk boat extravaganza. I think people will be drinking for sure, but that's not to say that if you don't drink that you're not welcome. All are welcome when we get this thing done. So we're talking right now. People are like, what's the update on merch? We got merch coming. That first drop, I just saw all the mock-ups for that first drop. That's it. Coley, when's that shit going down?
I mean, we're checking our calendars. You know how we do over here. So once we all look at our calendars, we're gonna pick that date because those are what are in calendars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Only real calendar heads know what we're saying right now.
Oh my God, people love calendars. So yeah, we got that merch coming. We got that maybe a Section 10 cruise in the works. I don't want to promise anything, but we're kind of working on it right now, which would be sick if we could pull that off. Anything else? I guess. We're always in the mood to do a live show or a watch party or some shit like that. So
I think we're due for a watch party. Kind of feels like it.
Yeah, Mikey was scouting out some place in Southie.
Mm-hmm. As he tends to do.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'll do it. It's got an outdoor projector. That's kind of like that's my selling point. Like I want to be able to watch the game. Whole point of a watch party, you gotta watch.
If you're not watching, then you're like just partying.
It's just a party.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We got some stuff in the works. So, Steve, final thoughts?
I got one final thought. It is a mega shout out to Peralta of the Year, Dan Peralta.
Yeah.
He put together one of the coolest weekends I've ever experienced in my entire life. Dan's really good at gifts, and a lot of times he'll do a birthday gift like early, and it'll be like an event instead of. This better be good. What do we got?
This just in, for the 117th week in a row, Dan Peralta has won the Peralta of the Week. Holy shit. The voting was 100, it was unanimous.
Yep.
For just the fifth time in Peralta of the Week voting, unanimous Dan Peralta vote for this week. Holy shit. Congratulations to Dan Peralta.
Congrats to Dan. I voted for him too, so I didn't even vote for myself
I
there.
know.
But it was a great weekend. Jaws 50th anniversary in Martha's Vineyard. I had never been there before. We went to the Jaws Museum. We rode bikes to Edgartown, went to the Jaws Bridge. He had a bunch of events planned. We got to meet a couple of the actors from the movie that are still alive, which is not a ton of them, but Deputy Hendricks, I know you remember him, Jared, from the movie. Chief Brody's right-hand man there.
Yep.
Had a really good convo with him. Was going to meet Richard Dreyfuss, but he was 2 hours late, which kind of seems par for the course with Richard Dreyfuss. Did a Jaws escape room. That was the first escape room I've ever done in my life, and that was a ton of fun. I went to a couple bars there. The alley was really cool. The escape room's good, but it makes me feel stupid. Like, you have to be really smart to like figure all the clues out. And I don't think I was like, I was probably the second smartest of the four of us that were in there in terms of how to figure stuff out, but we did end up killing Jaws and saving Amity, so that was big. But no, just a really, really awesome weekend, and Dan Peralta, that's why he's the Peralta of the Year right there.
Yeah. What a streak he's got going on right now.
No, I know. I'm glad you updated the number because I think that is accurate.
117 straight weeks.
Coley,
final thoughts?
Yeah, just shout out my guy, Brad Stevens. He just attacked the offseason immediately. The second it started, he said, hey, I've got this log jam I got to clear out. Did it without even blinking. That's just the type of professionalism I like to see out of people running my franchise. I wish he could run all of our franchises, but alas.
T, final thoughts?
I was very upset I didn't see this during the last podcast. The news broke. Shout out Chris Hatfield, who reached out and was actually now willing to message me and Coley when he knows we're recording with prospect promotion, so we know. But Peyton Tolley was promoted to Double-A. For those who haven't been paying attention, Peyton Tolley, second round pick last year, has come into the org this year. 11 games, 10 starts, posted a 3.62 ERA, a 2.88 FIP. He's striking out 14 per 9. Walk per 9 is 2.5. Fastball has been sitting in that kind of 94 to 97 range, generating whiffs at an absolutely ridiculous rate. But he's now going to Portland, so really not that far from starting to make that push, and a whole wave of arms really being there between David Sandlin, who's now going 6 innings somewhat regularly, Connolly Early, who should be promoted to AAA already. You can probably say the same thing for David Sandlin. So there's really a wave of arms pushing towards the big leagues, which should excite you because Luis Perales is going to be back hopefully in the next month or two. Haven't heard a real update in some time, but no setbacks either. So should be some pretty interesting arms that are dominating the top of the farm system moving forward.
I haven't like sat down and watched like a start or anything, but like I watch his clips and he's got fuck you like mound presence to him.
It's a little crochet. It's like that 6'7" body. He's a tank.
I don't see crochet in him, but like the way that his body moves and the way that he like finishes his pitches, it exudes a certain level of confidence that is it's noticeable. So pencil me in. I'm a fan.
If you ever have time, go watch the homers he used to hit in college. Very fun.
The homers.
Oh, he was playing like a good amount of first base back in college. Hit some absolute tanks.
Okay. Jake's takes.
I just can't wait for you guys to see the guest I have booked for tomorrow. You're not going to believe it.
I mean, Jake came through with a big time guest tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're going to release that as its own thing. So it'll be episode, what, 558.5?
I think that can just be 559. We've done that in the past.
Have we?
Depending on... Wait, did I just give something away there? I think I just gave something away there. Yeah, we can bleep that. Grady Little, 559.
1 of 26.
All right. So we'll be back today. We get that Grady Little interview coming up tonight, Thursday. We're going to record it at my house at like 5, and then it'll be a nice little Thursday night surprise drop. Well, not really a surprise because you guys know that's coming, but yeah, boy. I'm interested to see how that goes. You know, it's been a long time since 2003. I'm sure he's got a lot to say. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll see you then. Till next time. Ba-doop, doop, doop.
Buenas noches, amigos.